Good morning, everybody. How we doing? I've got a large piece of construction equipment outside my office today, so if there's any background noise, apologies. Hopefully the good mic is good enough at not grabbing things that aren't my voice. Hope you had a very good weekend. I saw some people in chat talking about Bitward and CLI. Yeah, we already covered it. It came live while we were on. And then I made a short, and I forgot to say the letters CLI in my short, and the comments roasted me. I got angry DMs. Oh my gosh. I make a video pretty much every day on TikTok and Instagram. And so I'm not going to get them all right. But geez, I got eviscerated. People were pissed. They were like, oh my God, you didn't say that it was the command line. Let me read one of the DMs I got that was just so, like, it was like a do better. Like, I like your content, but do better. I was like, come on, man. Like, chill. Everyone breathe. Like, and I pinned the comments. There's a bunch of comments that were like, yo, command line. And I pinned them. I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. This one. Hey, just a suggestion. I think you should be clearer of what end targets are vulnerable people in each vid. Make a disclaimer at the beginning. Like, motherfucker, I've done like 350 fucking videos, and I forgot to say CLI. Yo, low level, what up? I was just watching your video on this topic, and I noted in my head, I was like, man, he caveated the fuck out of this video. He was like, I still like password managers. This is just the CLI. And I was like, oh man, I did not do that in my 90-second version. Oh well. No, I know. Haters are going to hate. I don't really care. It just was like, oh God, you forget to say CLI in one vid. How's everyone doing? Don't look at the comments. Yeah, I know. Easier said than done. Francisco, welcome back. How was your trip? You were in Michigan, right? Coyote, Kilobyte, Colin, Ham Radio, I don't recognize your name. Welcome. Justin, what's up? Galaxy, of course. Darkening Shadow, I don't recognize your name either. We got some new folks, or maybe you were lurkers. Mohammed on Twitch, I see you. I don't know if you guys are new or lurkers or whatever, or I'm just don't remember your name. Brandon, how's it going? You're new? Cool. Well, what's up, everybody? So I titled the video after this attack that I saw that I wanted to go through really quick because I thought it was a gnarly one. As I said in my very, very astute expert opinion tweet, gnarly exclamation point. This Robinhood attack was pretty sick. Did you guys see this one? Heavy lurker followed for a while. Well, welcome. What type of machine outside? A fucking loud one. I can't see it, but it's just a constant engine noise. That's all I hear. It was loud when it started up, and now it's just whatever. I think like the building next door is having some stuff, or like the sidewalk. I don't know. Did you guys see this Robinhood attack? Pretty gnarly. Okay. I like the word gnarly when it comes to attacks. So if you missed this one, this is the age-old evil dot in your Gmail trick. So how this one worked was, in Robinhood, you can make an account with a dot in the Gmail address, and Robinhood will treat that as a different account, even though Gmail ignores the dot, right? And Gmail's like, yeah, whatever. We're going to pass this to that same email without the dot. Then the actual vulnerability here, in my opinion, I haven't seen Robinhood's statement on this. I wonder if they're going to like fix this whole HTML part. But the attacker will, if they know your Gmail account that you have your Robinhood on, they can make a legitimate account with a dot in it and then purposefully trigger this unrecognized activity thing. But in the device name, they shoved a bunch of HTML that would actually render in the email, right? So then the email would actually come from Robinhood, like legit from Robinhood, pass all like muster. Like there's no way this is ending up anywhere but your inbox. But then here you can actually even see the cutoff. So it's like, oh wait, you can't see it in this one. So like here's the legitimate Robinhood email stuff. And then it's like unrecognized, log into your Robinhood account. Here's this device, iPhone 17 Pro, boom, HTML. This is all attacker HTML from this point down. So it's like device name gets cut off, and then it renders all this HTML under the device name, right? I mean, a slicker attacker would have matched these two. Was it an iPhone or was it Chrome on Windows, right? It's like, well, which one was it? But okay, this is pretty slick. It's HTML, and this review activity now button, which looks like it's part of this email, is actually the phishing site. This was just an absolute gnarly one. So I posted this. I made a short about this a few hours ago, and I actually got some people in my comments that said that they had got this one. Or I don't know if any of you guys use Robinhood, but I saw some people in my comments say that they got it. So yeah, looking at the actual thread here, I didn't hop all over this one because I didn't look super closely at this thread. But I saw some people saying, hey, I don't think that that's it. You know, I think SendGrid or Twilio got hacked, like Robinhood confirmed, right? Email service SendGrid is hacked. Someone verified Robinhood domain. Like I received this from this thing. It turns out this person was wrong. Right. So I just saw some back and forth, but then the original poster was like, then you wouldn't need to do the dot trick. Everyone who's seen this has had a dot trick in the address. And he says, oh, you're right. I see the entire section below the first device HTML injection. Not exactly sure what they did, but yeah, like they said. So I saw like some back and forth and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm going to wait for the dust to settle on this one. But if we look at the rest of this, it was the actual HTML injection, right? XSS with no script, right? So it's an injection, but without JavaScript, it's just HTML. But in this case, that was all that they needed. Obvious in retrospect, don't let HTML be injected via user thing. This is bullshit. I hate tweets like this. Links, this is all we fucking do all day is send emails to each other and click links in emails. This is what links are for. It's what emails are for. If everyone said this, like, yeah, we would be out of work. I got some response that was like, this is why we teach our employees to hover over links before they click them. If we taught employees to hover over links and it worked, there would be no cybersecurity industry, okay? Zero. Wouldn't exist. If people hovered over links, that's it. End of security. It doesn't happen. That's like an invalid suggestion. It's like, well, just teach your people to understand what to do. Because in another piece of advice, you would have said, well, just look at the email headers and don't click on any links if the email headers don't work, which 95% of people will never have any idea how to do that or think to do it on an email. Second of all, in this attack right here, that advice doesn't make any fucking sense, right? So this is not on users for falling for this. You can't possibly blame a user for falling for this. All phishing exists because it works. If you get the right phishing email at the right time with the right level of trust built up and you're in the right emotional state, you will fall for it too. Get off your high horse and be like, well, I never click on any links in emails. It's like bullshit. Yes, you do all day. What else do you do with email and links? It's fucking the internet. Come on. Anyway, this is Matt's soapbox about phishing defense advice. The real advice here would be once you actually, if you did fall for that and click that link, then if you used a password manager or something, that would recognize that you're not on the right domain and wouldn't autofill your password and give up your creds or whatever. You know, all your alarms should have started going off once you clicked that link. If you fell for that email, which I can't possibly blame people for falling for that. It's legitimately from Robinhood. Like, there's no way that's going to end up in spam. Like, you're just toast, right? So that was a pretty good one. Morning, Bill. Really cool that Google leaves this .email crap around for decades while they're working to make Gemini know what you need before you know what to ask. Yeah, I don't know the reason for the dot thing to begin with. Reality, I don't know if I blame Google on the dot thing because the this would, explode the number of emails that would look very, very similar just with dots in them on Gmail. So I kind of understand the decision on the Google side. It's more for you making a site that lets accounts be created with dots in them on Gmail. Like that should match on, everyone should just realize that that's how Gmail accounts work, and don't allow, if an account already exists without a dot, don't allow a dot, or vice versa, or whatever, right? How do you inject the HTML in there anyway? So they probably injected it in the actual device name that they then used to create the unrecognized login attempt. You could probably do that in Burp. You don't like say, on Apple or whatever, or on your Windows device or something. You probably can't put that much HTML in your device name, but the request that goes out at some point, it's user input. The device name is user input. I don't know where they actually put the HTML first. It might just be in the name. Like maybe I'm giving Windows too much credit, and like you could make a device name with a bunch of long HTML in the device name, but like you pick the name of your device, right? It's like, oh, Matt's PC, or some Lord of the Rings meme or whatever. You just name it. So that's user input. So that's why it's tricky user input, because it's not like directly in a form on the website, which is probably why it snuck through. Did Robinhood respond? Did they respond? Oh yeah, they did. Check it out. I didn't see this. At 1 a.m, some customers received a falsified email from No Reply Robin with subject line, "Your recent login." This phishing attempt was made possible by an abuse of the account creation flow. It was not a breach of our systems or our customer records, accounts, personal information. Funds were not impacted. If you receive this email, please delete. If you have clicked a suspicious link and have any questions about your account, please contact us directly. Yeah, that's just a gnarly one, right? Feel free to send us a DM. We'll take a closer look. We're sorry. We're sorry. And of course, the replies are going to just be filled with like, well, I got a different one. Well, this isn't about you. Of course, there's other phishing accounts on Robinhood. This one isn't about you. Not everything is about you. Apparently, dots to prevent scams and impersonations. Working really well. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of blame Robinhood on that one, right? On A, the account side, and B, the HTML injection. Untrusted user input should never be rendered as code. We've known about this for whatever. It's literally OWASP #1 since fucking 2001. Yeah, I think I had the bleeping article up. I didn't really need the bleeping article because we covered it, but let's see. Bill says bleeping. Why is Bill allowed to put links in chat? Bill, how did you get special permissions? Everyone else who pastes LinkedIn chat, they get pulled out. Attackers abused Robinhood to generate phishing emails. Confirmed that when a new Robinhood account is registered, the company automatically sends this email to the associated address containing the registration time, IP, device information, and approximate location. To inject in the phishing message, threat actors modified their device metadata fields to include embedded HTML. All right, so yeah, it's not in the. I figured it might, maybe it's like you use burp and pass a longer device name to the account creation API. You just like grab this request, pause it in Interceptor, and then modify the device metadata field, but maybe it's actually on the device. I don't know. You like phishing scans, makes me feel special. Remember, I love you. Man, I love you. You're pulling from the old magic. Special, no, I'm just Bill, sitting on Capitol Hill. But it was relevant to the conversation. Yeah. I saw that Bleeping covered it last night. HTML was injected into the device field of the account creation email, causing it to render. Attackers used gmail.alias as a result. Robinhood confirmed the incident. They didn't say in their announcement if they fixed it, but Bleeping said that they have fixed the device. They just removed the field, so they didn't sanitize it or anything. They were just like, we're not gonna pass through the device name. That's a nasty one. We've got a bunch of other news we could talk about. I also want to watch some more of those ironic videos today that I think Portbuster on Twitch turned me on to that team. Oh, did you guys see this one? Where is it? Oh, this one. Remove the field. Isn't that security through obscurity? No, like the HTML can't render if they just remove the field. So if now they just email you and there just isn't one. Gemini, CLI, RCE? God, I fucking hate the first website. Oh my God, the first two websites on SEO for that are hot garbage cybersecurity news websites. I hate these websites. This one, I'm going to pull it up just so we can troll on them. This one, cybersecurity news. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're just killing on SEO because they just came to the top right now. But they are hot garbage. Hot garbage. Bill, this is now part of your job. I don't pay you enough for this, but this is now part of your job. Volnu.com needs to do better than this website. I'm just kidding, Bill. All right. Well, I guess we're here. What are we doing? What's the actual source of this story? I'm like hovering over all these links. They're all just internal links. It was a GitHub security advisory was the source. You already do, but the bar wasn't very high. Yeah. I hate cybersecurity news. Well, no, my whole job is cybersecurity news. I hate that website. It's hot garbage website. Gemini CLI, remote code execution. What is it? How? Wait. These are big words. Plot twist written by Galaxy. Galaxy, is it you? Are you cybersecurity news? I love that Galaxy hangs out in chat and like your YouTube name is obviously just the name of your device. Speaking of device name injection. All right. Gemini, CLI, RCE are big words. So what happens here? These and the Run Gemini CLI GitHub action are being updated to harden workspace trust and to allow listing, in particular when used in untrusted environment like GitHub Actions. This update introduces a breaking change to how headless environments handle folder trust, which may impact CI/CD workflows under specific conditions. I don't understand any of that. Any use of Gemini CLI headless mode without folder trust will require manual review to correctly configure folder trust. Yo, use like real words. Where is this remote code execution? Gemini CLI in CI environments in headless mode automatically trusted workspace folders for the purpose of loading config and environment variables. This is potentially risky in situations where the CLI runs on untrusted folders in headless mode, e.g. CI workflows that review user-submitted pull requests. If used with untrusted directory contents, this could lead to remote code execution via malicious environment variables. Okay. So if you automatically put Gemini CLI in your CI/CD pipeline and it auto ran bullshit on user submitted PRs, the user submitted PR could potentially execute code in your what? Like where? Where is that code executed, right? To ensure consistency in user control, previous versions. The workflow runs on trusted inputs, reviewing PRs from trusted collaborators. Oh, these are like what to do about it. I don't like this write-up. I don't like that write-up. I don't like that write-up. That write-up kind of sucks. If you do stupid shit, bad things happen is the summary of all of my content forever. Brandon just put me out of a job. If Robinhood responded at 1 a.m, does that mean they have a security team working 24/7? Is that common for big companies? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think most incidents that I responded to were in the 1 o'clock in the morning hour. I was the security team that works 24/7. It's called PagerDuty, and the sound haunts me in my dreams. You can do smart things and bad things will still happen. That's true. All right. Well, that write-up sucked. Is this write-up any better? The first problem involves folder. This is the same fucking write-up. They're using the same words. This just says the same thing. Am I dumb? Can we just use real words? Like, just be like, yo, user submitted pull request. I mean, great that all the details are here. But like, in what context are we executing code and what is the impact of that remote code execution? Because it's not on my machine, right? It's on GitHub. It's like through GitHub Actions. The advisor says the impact is limited to Gemini CLI deployments in headless mode, so in GitHub action workflows. So then what? What can Gemini CLI do if it sucks in shit from folders that it shouldn't? I don't think anyone that's written this like understands it, right? So like this is super, super frustrating. Let's try to find a better write-up. Cyberpress. This is another garbage site, isn't it? Cyberpress. The site sucks too. This is just AI bullshit. Hey, at least they talk about impact. Automatic trust behavior, execute arbiter code on build servers, steal sensitive repo. This is what I was talking about. Okay, cool. So if that's actually possible, yeah, this is a big deal. I can't tell why Gemini CLI would start executing arbitrary code though. You know, even if it just reads those folders, is there like a prompt injection thing going on here now too? Because like, you guys get why I don't understand the jump? Yeah, okay. So here we go. Improper input validation failed to sanitize special characters, resulting in command injection vulnerabilities. The YOLO execution mode failed to enforce strict tool allow list. Attackers could exploit this weakness using prompt injection. Okay, I missed that part of the write-up because my eyes were glossing over from the bullshit. You would hope your CI/CD would only read repos, though not sure why it would have write. Well, no, this is the problem. CI/CD absolutely does need to have write on the build server. Like that's the whole point, right? It's building on the build server. It can't write to the repo. So it's going to read the PR, and then it's going to do this kind of shit on the build server. Bowl of cereal. Yo, pour me one. Copy of a copy. It could lead to a compromise of your repo. Yeah, these are just bad write-ups. I'm just frustrated. Why didn't one of the good sites cover that one? Why didn't one of the good sites cover that one? Anyway, good tip, chat. I didn't see that one. Did you guys see what I built? No, I haven't really talked about it yet. Look what I built last week. You remember how I was like doing agent-y stuff while I was streaming last week? I was like, oh, I'm kicking my agent. Look what I built on Volnew. This isn't like official yet, so shh, it's a secret for live, but I built like a little job board. And it actually works, and it like ties to Stripe, because I had a recruiter that like wanted. They were like, "How much to promote a job on your site?" So nothing's in here yet, obviously, but it works. So I'm gonna pass it around to some recruiters, and maybe we can get some like cool jobs. I know, it's vibe coded. There's like a bunch of design issues for sure, and I did find some vulnerabilities and had to have those fixed too, because there was user input. Because the job role is user input, and it just like rendered on the site. And I was like, hello, cross-site scripting. And it was absolutely vulnerable. So luckily I knew that. I was like, this is your user input, Claude. Did you check this? Oh, you're absolutely right. I didn't sanitize that user input. Yeah, totally. Anyway, that works. That's a fun little side project. We'll see if it turns into anything. I figured the other thing that I could like differentiate on was, here, I'll show you. The prices are all made up. Well, these prices wouldn't be for like people looking for jobs, right? But like for the promotion of it. But I figured this would be cool. Like, hey, why should you go work for them? Like, I'll put this on volnew.com and I'll like talk about it. Be like, yo, this team is cool. Like, here's what they're doing, right? Like, wouldn't that be like a differentiator versus other, like, whatever, just job listings? It's like, hey, I'll talk about how cool your team is and like your culture and like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So none of this is final. I don't know. I just figured I just copied some like other job board pricing of like what it costs to like list a job somewhere. Well, just had helped us delete half of the company folder directly. Have a good one. Rip. Dude, I love that practitioners hang out in chat, man. Like, like Brandon, there's like a guy, Jay, there's another guy, Brandon, that are like coming in chat. They're like, the firewall just went down. I got to go drive to the data center, you know, like whatever. Gosh, I love it. I love it because I've been there. All right, wait, did you guys see this super scary one? Look at this. I was going to talk about this, and then you guys brought up the Gemini CLI. Woo-hoo-hoo. Super scary hacking device found in the trunk of a car. Oh, my God. This was all over the news. The normies ate this up. They were like, Chinese spies driving around with hacking device in their trunk. Look at all the antennas and wires. This is a hacking device if I ever saw one. This is Mythos, guys. Mythos is in the back of the trunk. They just can't write Mythos on it. Otherwise, you would know that this is the like super hacking device thing. Oh my gosh. Scroll. Bill, I'm getting there. Jesus. Chill. Bill, I'm going to tell you what story it is. Don't worry. Of course. I just needed to show you the super scary device. It doesn't have a bop it. I showed those videos, right, on chat. The bop it with the duct tape. and stuff. Gosh, guys, Normie News loved this one. Normie News was I saw this all week, and I was just like, oh my God, guys. Like, if you don't know anything, this hits really hard, right? Like, I mean, it's fucked up what they did, but like, it's not some like crazy super hacking device. Oh, it's all right, Bill. I'm just messing with you. The first known instance of cybercrime tool being used in Canada. Whoa. I mean, it's a pretty fucked up device. Don't get me wrong. So what this thing is basically is a cell tower. And like the reason it's got all this scary crap looking to it is to just make it as strong as possible. So it's just a fake cell tower. This stuff has been around forever. There's no way that this is the first fake cell tower in Canada. Zero chance. I remember one year at DEF CON in Vegas, some people stood up a fake cell tower and pushed fake firmware updates. So if you updated your firmware while in Vegas, you got fucked. So, okay. So this isn't like some super crazy hacking device. It's not like if this thing drove past your house, you were hacked. Okay. But the reason that these people got screwed was they were like, I mean, this is extremely illegal to jam cell phone towers, right? So in Toronto, they've arrested 3 people in connection with the cybercrime thing, SMS blaster tool, a new technology not previously detected in Canada. So I guess they're saying the SMS blaster part is new. Okay, fine. I'll chill. So they later determined that the blaster was operating out of a car, which was to move around the greater Toronto area. I think it was in Hamilton, which is where my buddies, my Canadian buddies that I used to do podcasts lived in Hamilton. I swear if I go to Black Hat, you're just bringing a notepad and pencil, you still get hacked. It's not, you don't have to go crazy about going to Vegas anymore. Like the hacks from like the early 2000s don't work. Like you can get on the Wi-Fi. Like there is no wall of sheep that like, because HTTP is everywhere and no one uses HTTPS. Like you can use, like I swear I've done online banking on the Black Hat Wi-Fi, okay? I did it right before I got on stage. I even made the joke on stage. I was like, I'm about to do online banking. Like just, if your laptop and cell phone cannot survive at the hotel for Black Hat and DEF CON, your cell phone and laptop cannot survive wherever you're sitting right now, okay? Like keep your devices up to date. Don't fucking fall for social engineering or weird captive portals or anything like that. The one thing that did come up, I was at DEF CON last year. There was someone spamming like those like Bluetooth connection messages to iPhones. So it was like, oh, AirPods or like AirPods or something like that would pop up. But like they couldn't do anything to you. It was just, you know, hackers being hackers. All right, so we believe tens of thousands of devices connected to this blaster over the last several months, noting that more than 13 million network disruptions were identified by the police. Big scary number, just saying like this thing was superseding the actual cell towers in the area, okay? An SMS blaster mimics a legitimate cell tower, and it sends a fraudulent text message to the connected phones with links to websites designed. So it's just SMS scamming. But instead of relying on your SMS scam messages not getting caught and going through all of the like standard telco provider hardware, which might catch your shit, it's like, oh, we're just going to run our own. SMS blasters pose a safety risk because they could cause issues. Yeah. Like this is not a real cell tower, so you might be like screwed if you connected to it. See, from Hamilton, Liquid Matrix crew lives in Hamilton. 21 to 27 arrived at the offenses, fraud, and mischief. The investigation is ongoing. They said they're pretty confident they've dealt with the risk from SMS blasters, but the broader risk of fraudulent texts remain. Yeah, okay. So that's like the normie news talking about this. Aren't there also stingrays that are already used by the government? That's yeah. Fake cell towers are absolutely a thing. Stingrays are absolutely a thing. ICE is using this right now to like track people in neighborhoods that they're looking for. They use it to track protesters and stuff like that. So, yeah. Yeah. All right, let's see. The Record is actual cybersecurity news sites. Let's see if they give us any more technical detail. Once the phone connects, attackers can send text messages that appear to originate from trusted organizations. The messages typically contain links directing victims. Yeah, we get it. We get what SMS phishing is. Because the device acts as a rogue cell tower, nearby phones may temporarily lose their connection. This has happened in Thailand. All right, not a lot more technical detail there. How about bleeping computer? Come on, looking for some technical detail. Got it. Phishing, densely populated area, blasters. Come on. Besides the phishing aspects, devices connected. Yeah, we got it. Everyone's saying the same thing. Users are recommended to disable 2G downgrades on Android, though this message is not effective against more advanced setups targeting LTE and 5G signals. Don't trust SMSs.
Thank you.
Got it. Let's watch this.
Good morning. Today, we're speaking about an investigation that is a first in Canada, and one that highlights how quickly the landscape of crime is evolving.
Oh my God.
This investigation, dubbed Project Lighthouse,
so slow,
involves the use of a mobile SMS blaster, a sophisticated device designed to mimic a cellular tower, intercept connections, and send fraudulent text messages directly to people's phones. It's a technology that until now had not been detected operating anywhere in this country. What makes this particularly concerning is the scale and impact. This wasn't targeting a single individual or a business. It had the ability to reach thousands of devices at once.
Okay, never mind. We're not listening to all 11 minutes of that because that's exactly where all these articles are just writing from that speech, I guess. Okay. I was hoping for some more technical detail about the actual attack. Why would they do that? Why would they do the cell tower thing for SMS phishing, right? I assume it's to more legitimately pose as the financial institutions and stuff and not get caught by spam filters. But that's just an assumption because a lot of that should happen on device, right? Like Apple flags a lot of this stuff. So I was just hoping for some more detail about that. The landscape of crime needs a mowing. Need me a landscaper. What's going on in Iran? You guys see this? So Handala is back in the news. Well, they haven't really left the news. But they've been threatening a bunch of U.S. Marines in the Middle East and doxing them. So on their Telegram channel, they wrote, "Today, merely as a demonstration to prove the extent of our intelligence superiority, we have published the full personal details of 2,379 U.S. Marines stationed in the Persian Gulf region. This is just a drop in the ocean of our surveillance capabilities. The quote-unquote security that American commanders boast about is nothing more than an empty illusion, a childish fantasy." Gosh, the propaganda is strong out of this area, right? Propaganda is strong everywhere. Sinister message also claimed how detailed information about Marines' families, home addresses, bases, shopping habits, and nightly activities. Wonder what that could mean. The exposure is just a minor warning. When 0 hour arrives, Khyber missiles and Shahed drones will rain down on those who participated in the crimes of Manab and Gaza, but on every advisor who clings to the delusion of immunity. Today, we released this limited list so you could feel a glimpse of our true power. Tomorrow, the entire roster may haunt you every night. It's like literal cartoon villain shit, right? It's like cartoon bad guy speech. The threatening message referenced deadly strikes. Yeah. I mean, this is all fucked up. We're here to talk about the hack. Published personal emails and pictures of the FBI. Kash Patel. All right. what do we know about what they have and how they got it? That's obviously the stuff I'm interested in. Let's see, where did I get that? Let's search my feeds because I don't have a more technical article on that handy. So if I search, clear. I need Handala. Let's search on Handala. Skip. Just give me Handala. Oh my gosh. I don't pay enough. I just need this in the title. I just need keyword matching. Oh my God. Feedly was like, you've stumbled upon a threat intelligence feature you don't pay for. I'm like, I'm just looking for the word Handala. Let's see. Is this in order? It is. Well, then that's bullshit. No one's written. Let's see. I'm not seeing like a more technical article about this. I wanted to hear more about that leak and hack, where they put it, where we think the info might have come from, right? Like, how are they building these doxing profiles against the Marines in the area? That would be more interesting for us here. But I'm not finding it. All right, I'll keep looking for that. That's kind of an interesting one, though. It's good to keep an eye on them. Obviously, they're targeting private companies and citizens. So obviously war stuff is war stuff, and we all get that, like, war stuff is war stuff. We all have feelings about it for sure. But in terms of like the cyber aspect of war, pointing back home at private companies and private citizens, that's where stuff starts to bleed into things I think we should be talking about. Agreed? Agreed. All right, so we talked a lot about, oh, I was already sharing my screen. That's funny. I didn't realize. Glad I didn't do anything weird. So we already talked about the ripple effects of the supply chain stuff from last week and Bitwarden and all the other bits and pieces. So Checkmarx has come out and made a statement about Lapsus, who got into their GitHub repo. And this was one of the, I don't know if it was the start or if it was just one of the kickoff points for a lot of the other attacks that we've seen. Oh, it wasn't the start. Trivy was the start. So you see there's like all these hops. So Checkmarx believes that the access vector was the Trivy supply chain attack. So Checkmarx, cybersecurity vendor, used another cybersecurity vendor, Trivy, to scan their, Trivy's like big in scanning your Docker images for known vulnerabilities. Trivy got hacked, attributed to the hacker group known as Team PCP, which provided access and credentials for downstream users. So how do we go from Team PCP to Lapsus? I might have missed. Using stolen credentials obtained by the Trivy incident, the threat actor was able to access Checkmarx's GitHub repo and publish malicious code on March 23rd, about a month ago at this point, which feels ancient, doesn't it? Feels ancient. What up, Aries? Can we have chat PCP already? What do we mean? What do we mean? Chat PCP. Instead of chat GPT, we doing chat PCP? As a result, the access for attackers were able to interact with Checkmarx's GitHub environment and subsequently publish malicious code. Oh, the company put out a statement, finally. Yesterday. Okay. So they published code, malicious code to Checkmarx's GitHub repo, which had further downstream impacts, including Bitwarden, right? As part of our investigation into the incident, we identified that exfiltration of data took place March 30th. A cybercriminal group subsequently published data related to check marks on the dark web on April 25th, 2 days ago. That's why we're updating this, huh? Current evidence indicates that this data originated from our GitHub repo and that access to those repos was facilitated through the initial supply chain back in March. Checkmarks' GitHub repos are maintained separately from our customer prod environment, as is standard practice. Yeah. Okay. So the timeline. March, malicious checkmarks artifacts are published. Attacker pushes malicious code into the GitHub repo, which gets sucked up by their customers. Containment, investigation, remediation, and communication efforts commenced and remain ongoing, but started back then. Now, this week, a second wave of malicious checkmarks artifacts are published, indicating continued or renewed access. That's wild. 1 month later, their containment, investigation, remediation, obviously back in March, was unsuccessful. I'd love to know the persistent mechanism. If we read about it last week, I already forget. And then this week, Lapsus publicly released data stamped March 30th, 1 month after the suspected exfiltration of data from... No, that's 1 week after. Right? Unless the original exfiltration happened... No, right? Unless that is supposed to say April, which it can't. Then that's not accurate, right? Am I having an aneurysm? Publicly releases data stamped March 30th, nearly 1 month after the suspected exfiltration of data, which happened on March 23rd. So either this is supposed to say a different date, like April 23rd, or this is supposed to say 1 week, right? Right? Chat. Am I stupid? Someone help. I'm gonna like tweet this. Wait, hold on, let me highlight this. I'm gonna write this on Twitter. It sucks that every time I open Twitter, I have to go off screen because whoever knows what the hell is gonna be on Twitter these days. There was like AI generated CSAM a few weeks ago. I can't possibly open my homepage on Twitter on screen until I'm sure that it's okay. Oh, wait. I'm about to attach a file too, which will show you all my files. Gosh, got to be so careful. All right. From the check marks incident timeline, am I dumb or is this wrong? March 30th being 1 month after suspected exfil. They say exfil happened March 23rd. So either date is wrong or it should say 1 week. Also trying to figure out the jump from Team PCP initial to lap sus. I mean, that's just like, I don't know what I'm smoking here, but let's just keep going and just pretend like that's okay. What up, Jay? Jay, I just mentioned you earlier. Brandon was in here and like was dealing with an incident. I was just like, oh man, I love practitioners hanging out in here. And I said, you were one. I was like, oh man, I got that guy Jay. He's like, I'm dealing with an incident or whatever. Let's keep going with this thing really quick. Whoa. Oh, this is sick. My buddy just made this. What time for you do I start these? The streams? I've been kind of inconsistent with my start time. I just kind of commit to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mornings. Usually between like 8:30 and 9:15 a.m. my time. It's when I start these. Today I started a little late because I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. So I was trying to like, I was like, I didn't want to go live and then figure out what I was talking about. All right. Upon identification of the incident, checkmarks commenced a formal investigation. Sorry. Random text. Do it live. Do it live. I'm distracted. My buddy built a pretty cool tool that he was just showing me. Maybe we'll show it on screen after this. Gotcha. I know you're Central Time. Just trying to make sure I'm busy to my job when I sit here on Skyrim and listen. It's your coworker who like gives you shit about never working, right? You're like the one day in 90 that Jay's got to work. And here you are playing Skyrim and chilling with me. Ah, the remote work time. He's asking me about my job board that I built. All right. So they remove unauthorized code, published clean artifacts, implemented additional safeguards, rotated creds, reviewed our environment. But then the initial attack, yeah, so how did they miss the persistence? What was the persistence? Do we remember? Evidence of further malicious artifacts, we took additional steps, called law enforcement, retained Mandiant, conducted a wider rotation of creds across the environment, implemented additional security controls and tools, performed additional reviews and access paceways. We locked down. Okay. Let me actually do this too. Thank you, whoever just followed. What up, Naren? Thanks for subscribing. You're at a client site for setup with an AirPod in. I love it. I love it. All right, let me... Sorry, I'm... What? Let me tweet tweet to this one again. Sorry, I was just bringing it up. Ah, damn, I forgot. As soon as I hit the picture thing, it shows my whole file system. All right, now we're good. All right. Also, any idea what the persistence between wave 1 and wave 2 of malicious artifacts was? They just say we did more review and hired Mandiant in wave 2, but not sure how attackers stuck around through wave 1. Not hating, just trying to figure out threat actor behavior here. Whatever. I was trying to go under the character count so that it doesn't cut me off, but I'm going to just say fuck it. You're on location. Perks of having the right answers when it counts. I do threat forecasting. J.O. is in dev, so he's mad most of the time. I love it. I love it. All right. Sorry, guys. Just trying to... I don't know. I'm trying to figure out... I like reading these things. Okay, wait. So they have updates. So 23rd was initial attack. 22nd was second wave. I wonder if on second wave... if they talk about it. No, they're just like, we're still trying to figure out compromise, right? They had to have planted some hook to open later an update backdoor. Yeah, I want the specifics, right? Because this threat actor is being like super prolific right now. So if Checkmark's a security company, right? Like a security company, I'm like literally not throwing stones at Checkmarks, right? I think their tool is useful. I think, you know, whatever. I'm just pointing out, hey, a security company responded to this incident on March 23rd and didn't properly eradicate the threat actor who somehow still had access to GitHub. Or re-got access or something, right? Upon identification issue, we took immediate steps to contain and remediate this incident. We removed unauthorized code, pinned our workflows to safe verified commit SHAs. We talked about all that last week. Like the GitHub action hardening stuff, that's one of the main ways. Revoked and rotated relevant creds, blocked outbound access to the attacker-controlled domain, and reviewed environments for any other sign of further compromise. But this didn't work. This didn't work. Like a month later, they were back, right? Stingray was developed in 08. There are ways to lock your APN and track down tower connection. Lost. Yeah, for sure. But ICE is still doing things, man. They're still doing it. Based on investigation to date, evidence limitations described below, we recommend continued vigilance. It's super interesting. And then the 26th one, which is what we were reading, right? No. A cyber criminal group has published data related to check marks on the dark web. Based on current evidence, we believe the data originated from our repo and that access to the repo was facilitated through the initial supply chain attack on March 30th. Checkmark's GitHub repo is maintained separately from our whatever. We have locked down access to the effective GitHub repo while the investigation continues. All right. I mean, this is a big one. Like, the reason I'm spending so much time on it is the reason that these attacks are working and spreading so much is like people use checkmarks. Checkmarks is GitHub account is continually putting out malicious releases, right? It's done it twice now. If you have checkmarks in your code base, like if you're using checkmarks' tool to scan for vulnerabilities in your code base and you're pinned to like latest, you're going to pull down malicious code from a security tool. This is why Trivy was such a big deal too. They set up a parallel system, avoided all those updates. Yeah, it's just, oh man. Guys, this is going to get so much worse before it gets better. Do you remember why? Let's go to the use graphene. You know what? I do want to use a graphene phone. I have that phone that Cape sent me. I don't know if I think it's graphene. Is it graphene? I forget. I forget what the OS is. It's like one of those nowhere phones. I don't use it enough. I should. Man. All right. You guys know why I'm like stressing about this one, right? Sorry, I'm like literally writing people as I'm thinking about this. So the reason I'm stressing about this is we pulled up this, Rami's awesome. I don't know Shay, but Rami's awesome. Rami, sorry, I don't know. I have not met in real life. You're just an internet person I respect. And he talks about how to harden GitHub Actions. We went through this like line by line. Not posting your answer. Let me try Twitch. Am I missing something? Am I missing a YouTube chat? Or you're failing to actually post? YouTube is blocking your thing? Okay. All right, we went like line by line through this. So we're not going to go through it again. But what I did want to point out is that in a lot of the like suggested actions here, they talk about how 80% of GitHub is doing this the way that is like insecure, right? So like this set read-only default workflow permissions. 80% of GitHub doesn't do this. The vast majority of repos have the worst default combination of permissions, allow approval of PRs, and able to write content. This is not this is going to get better anytime soon thing unless GitHub wakes up tomorrow, decides to be a completely different company and like enforce a lot of guardrails on this that it's not today, right? So same thing down here. Govern workflow adoption, restrict runners to specific repos. So GitHub action, degree of freedom. 80% of repos allow, this one says which actions are permitted. All actions and workflows are permitted on all repositories. So these aren't the same permissions, but it's the same number. So you got to assume that it's just like, hey, 80% of people just don't do anything. And then there's like 20% of people that like tweak these permissions to be some granular level of more secure on GitHub. These are two completely different things just because they're 80%. So 80% let allow approval of PRs and able to write content, and 80% allow all actions and workflows on all repos. It's probably the same 80%, right? So this is why I'm nervous about all this Trivy checkmarks stuff, man. GitHub is a minefield of this waiting to happen. And we have at least one very prolific threat actor group just proving that they're going to just rock on this like forever, right? Googling says VS Code extension included on dev workstations, install system view user, poll checkmarks dot zone every 50 minutes. Oh, that's the persistence mechanism? Say it again. VS Code extension installed on the dev workstation. Got a systemd user that polled checkmarks every 50 minutes. That's super interesting. Why don't more companies use their own self-hosted Git? There's a lot of reasons to that. GitHub Enterprise is kind of a, like, so I know you didn't say GitHub Enterprise, but GitHub has a self-hosted version called GitHub Enterprises, right? I've been a customer of it. It's a bit, everything, all of the self-hosted options come with a pretty large system administrator cost. It's now on you to like make sure that uptime is good and all that kind of stuff. Not to say that GitHub is doing very well at that, because look at this. You didn't know about GitHub Enterprise. Yeah. There's like self-hosted, you could do GitLab, you could do whatever. There's tons of self-hosted options. You're behind on features. So when GitHub like releases some new feature, whether it's a security one or like a cool product feature, you don't get it for a while, right? Even like GitLab will kind of mimic a lot of GitHub stuff, but just months later. So GitHub for a long time was your best option. Like, you know, most secure because you would catch the new security features and, you know, a lot of other stuff. But it's not like GitHub is doing too hot right now anyway, right? It's not like GitHub is like killing it in the uptime department. When it becomes cheaper to manage it yourself via the cost of a breach. Yeah, it's also not like you're immune to breaches if you self-host, right? So at this point, you're probably less impacted by the public. Oh, and a lot of companies by design want to get PRs from the public, right? They have open source components or whatever it is, right? There's like part of it's open source, part of it's like enterprise. And so a ton of companies, you can't and if you self-host and then expose publicly so that you can catch public PRs and stuff, you're going to get much less participation because GitHub has like the social ecosystem of GitHub, right? But then instead of getting hacked via like GitHub Actions and shit like we're talking about here, you're going to get hacked via like vulnerabilities in your self-hosted GitLab thing because you're not up to date on your patches. It's not like, oh, self-host means no breach, right? Set up bare Git on the server for self-hosting, ton of knowledge overhead. Yeah. I mean, it's like we had like at the places that I've worked at that had GitHub Enterprise, we had like a team of people, like more than two people, like a handful of people that their job was reliability of the GitHub server fleet. You know? So like you're having like engineers dedicated towards keeping GitHub up. You think we do that? Part of JO's daily frustration in parallel GitHub share? Yeah. And tons of people do that too. Like, hey, we want some open source stuff. So we want to like have a GitHub presence for the open source stuff, but for all the other stuff and like where all our servers are going to point and actually like, and our devs are going to point is going to be some internal thing. And then like you said, now you're fucking mirroring code across different Git incidents and stuff, right? Instances, not incidents. All right, I pulled this graph up from a video because GitHub's having a really bad time. We were going to watch this video. Should we do it now? All right, I watched it a little bit earlier. He talks fast. We're not going to put him on multiple times speed. I do need to go recycle some coffee. I watched this earlier, so I'm going to put this on. Sorry if I rewind it a little bit, but you guys are going to get babysat by Prime. Are they good and do we like them? Prime? Prime's great. Prime's probably one of my favorite YouTube creators. I really like Prime. So this GitHub bug, I'm going to set the stage for you guys. I'm going to run to the restroom while I hit play. This isn't a security issue. GitHub's whole thing is to like run Git, and they literally like failed at that this week, right? Not sure how you feel about recycled coffee. Sorry, whatever. So the video get into it, but like to a point where they were like messing with commit trees. So if you were like merging a pull request that you thought did one thing, it was messing up like the base of everything, and you would like overwrite lines of code silently, right? M365 double-edged sword. Dude, same thing as what we were just talking about. Self-hosted Exchange servers versus M365, right? Anywhere I've ever worked, it's self-hosted Exchange. Guess what? It's a fucking crazy nightmare. And then M365, hey, at least you don't have to host your own Exchange servers, but there's lots of other attacks and stuff to worry about. Oh gosh. Yeah, it's funny. All right. This we're going to talk about this. I had this pulled up to talk about, but I'm going to use this as a convenient bathroom babysitter, okay? Everyone behave.
Opus of a bug. Now, I've heard lore that GitHub just had its magnum opus of a bug. Now, I've heard lore that people have dropped databases, just some showstopper bugs, but I did not think it was possible for GitHub to cease being Git. Now, we're going to go through what actually happened, but more so, I just have a lot of questions as to how this was even possible. All right, so before we begin about GitHub ceasing to be Git, let's first go over a bit of lore because it's important. In 2005, the creator of Linux decided that he was going to take the Brendan Eich challenge, which is to create a programming language in 7 days, but instead create version control in 10. And thus, Git was born. Upon seeing this beautiful distributed version control, software developers did the only thing that made sense: immediately create a single point of failure. GitHub became so popular that other services decided to use the hub naming convention. Of course, the most popular being Docker Hub, where you can store all your Dockers at. Microsoft, seeing that GitHub attracted developers, decided to purchase GitHub for $7.5 billion and proceeded to generationally fumble the bag. Microsoft, you could have done like nothing. Like if you would have just left GitHub, it would have operated better than whatever has happened today. But the impressive part is that Microsoft has discovered the fourth E in the triple E strategy, of course, which is embrace, extend, extinguish, and shitify. Yesterday, we had a regression in the merge queue behavior where, in some cases, squash or rebase commits were generated from the wrong base state, making earlier changes appear reverted in branch history. You had one job, just one singular job, GitHub, which is, of course, to be Git. Now, that's only about half the story because it really isn't kind of actually illustrating what happened. Now, here's a better story. On April 23rd, GitHub's merge queue started silently reverting code on customers' main branches. Now, reverting is actually a Git operation. It did not revert code. That's very important to understand. Not a handful of lines, in some cases, thousands. Nothing looked wrong. A PR with a plus 29 minus 34 diff got reviewed, approved, and queued. What actually landed on main was a single commit with plus 245 minus 1,137. Thousands of lines of unrelated already shipped code were quietly removed. Every merge that followed went in on top of that broken history. That means that you would look at the PR. Your PR would actually look correct. And when you hit the merge button, what actually went in was not what you hit merge on. This is absolutely diabolical behavior. I mean, to be lied to, like the UI just telling you, nah, everything's good, man. This is exactly what's gonna happen. And for you to have no idea is crazy. I still have a lot of questions, but this is roughly how it's being reported. Now, we do not have the official GitHub kind of post-mortem that explains exactly what went wrong. This is just what is being purported by large companies. Effectively, what happens is you have history that looks like this in Git, and this would be your main branch. So let's just say you have 4 commits on your main branch, and for whatever reason, you branched off back here to make your new branch, and then you've added 2 commits. So the actual root cause of what would happen is that when you'd go to merge, what would end up happening is they would run something called a merge queue, which would take your 2 merges, which if you just drew this in a straight line would be 3 circles because you'd have where you branched from and your 2 changes, and it would squash these 2 into a singular change. So they are just one single branch. This is actually a whole new branch that's created internally in one of Microsoft's CI. Let's just call this singular squashed merge A. What should happen is that A should be merged to the tip of main. But what actually ended up happening is that they would take this history right here and overwrite whatever was on main with this right here. So that means if this thing was called B, that means what would be on main now would simply be B to A, and that is it. That means these 3 commits were just gone. Now, this obviously caused teams to scramble all afternoon. There are hundreds of tweets of people saying, hey, I had to spend all afternoon or multiple days trying to figure out how to detangle whatever has happened and what is actually missing from all of their PRs. GitHub, of course, has said there's only 2,804 pull requests that were messed up out of 4 million merged. Then later on said there was only 800K PRs. Either way, that's the difference between 0.07% and 0.3+%. It's a big difference. So which one is it, GitHub? And obviously, even more confusing thing, if you go to April 23rd, that's weird. Do you see like some major outage or a partial outage going up there? No. They don't show anything went wrong on the 23rd. Obviously, the reason for that is that the only downtime was you and your team trying to figure out how to undo what just happened. But I also just have a lot of questions, and maybe you guys can help me on this one. So the first thing I have is that if this is B and this is A and this is the temporary branch that we have created, if history looked like this, wouldn't pulling down cause you to have some sort of, hey, the remote branch is like out of sync with your local branch?
I said behave, Colin. I remember that joke. I watched this video before I came live. It was a funny phrasing joke, right? Tip of my main. Well, let's just say, whatever. Isn't this freaking nuts? Were you guys paying attention? I don't know if you guys pay attention when I leave you with a babysitter. So the whole gist is like, watch this one. Wait, let me pull up the article. Where is it? This one. This is the article he's talking about. So the whole gist that's like absolutely nuts. I want to show this part. Unusually nasty bug. So the PR UI lied. So you reviewed a plus 29 minus 34 and the commit landed was plus 245 minus 1137. The thing engineers approved was not the thing that merged. That breaks the most fundamental contract of a code review system. I mean, this is just like, I think he made the joke. He was like, hey, Git, you had one job. GitHub, you had one job, to be Git. And you weren't Git. You weren't Git. You couldn't be Git. This isn't Git. This is Git not working. This is Git specifically not being Git. All right, so we're officially at the part of the year where it is 90 something degrees outside, and my office blasts AC so badly. So I gotta wear shorts because I'm dying outside, and then I come in here and I freeze. So I've got blankets and stuff all over my office because it's freezing. All right, no merge conflicts surfaced. It was silent. No merge conflicts. No check failed. No banner went up. Teams only caught it when they noticed the code missing from main that should have been there. It scaled with activity. The faster a repo was merging, the further its feature branches had drifted from main, and the more damage each bad merge did. The teams who most need a merge queue got hit the hardest. I mean, gosh, I know it's like tangential to security, but like this is huge, and like it was live for a bit.
Your two histories have diverged, you wouldn't even be able to pull down main anymore. Or the other option is that instead of just simply putting A right here, it actually had revert commits, meaning that it would have these 3 commits right here, and then it would have another commit that was like, hey, I'm reverting these 3 commits right here. And then you would have something like A, which would make this not too difficult to be able to go, okay, well, here's the only revert we have, unrevert it, which is not like how anything sounds like. But even more importantly, Git is still Git. You cannot change history like this easily. Does that mean internally, is Microsoft like pushing with force, right? Because the only way that you could push this right here, this history onto main would be that you have to force push because you're changing history. And if that's the case that they're force pushing, makes me kind of nervous. Like, what other issues are there? What other things have been silently happening? And of course, there's no shot it was 2,804 total. Please double check this stat. We probably had 200 plus as a single customer. So I'm actually just pretty curious. Did you lose any commits? Are you using the kind of the auto squash?
Did anyone run into this? Any of you coders? Anyone run into this? I didn't run into it. I don't do a whole lot on like public github.com
feature, and thus you have things gone. Also, this has opened up the most legendary excuse of all time for the next year. When any company gets hacked and stuff gets leaked or something goes horribly wrong, they can go, oh yeah, well, actually, we actually did implement perfect security. We actually had this exact situation already covered, but GitHub decided to silently drop our commit. Brother, it's not our fault. It's GitHub's. It's also funny.
Oh, that's a good point. If we can no longer trust GitHub is like merging the right code, because now we have a history to point to that at some points it does not. Are people going to use this as like a PR excuse of like, oh no, we totally did that. We fixed that vulnerability. It wasn't us.
Because there's probably a bunch of vibe coders that they just simply just kept on going on with their day. Some weird thing happened and they're just like, oh, fix it. Oh, AI, just fix it. And then when a bug appeared, they're like, oh, stupid AI, always reverting previous changes. Hey, fix that one now again. You know that happened. Absolutely beautiful. And the worst part is, for once, it actually wasn't AI. They're just going to be blamed for part of this for a whole group of people. Actually, I mean, to be fair, it could have been AI. It could have been. There's some reports going around that it was a faulty feature flag. Of course, Hacker News had its heyday and people were viciously discussing what happened to GitHub. 4 people spent hours putting our repo back together at my company after this. GitHub has been unreliable, and now they are breaking core tenet of what I expect from this service. Core tenant? You mean tenant, not tenant. You must be fun at parties. I don't care to associate with people who are offended by being corrected. They can sod off. And I never go to what you Americans call parties. Whenever you use quotes and they are directly followed by punctuation, you must include the punctuation within the quotes. Parties. Period. Reply. Don't you love Hacker News? It's just such a lovely place where you see really thoughtful and amazing discussions about topics. But at the end of the day, we still do not have the exact post-mortem, so we don't know the exact cause or reasoning, or will GitHub even provide us with the exact details? I don't know. So if anybody can answer these questions, does Microsoft actually use a force underneath the hood to be able to align histories?
I have no idea.
Were there revert commits? Which I don't think there was, because nobody is saying that on the internet. Wouldn't this cause all sorts of history being absolutely destroyed? Wouldn't this be kind of easy to be able to kind of resolve? Maybe, yeah, it would take a little bit of time. Maybe you have to ask Claude Opus for, Mythos to be able to resolve it, but you should be able to get this done pretty quick. And really, was it only 2,800 PRs? Is that it? I mean, Mr. 200 over there doesn't seem to make it that to be the case. The name is that I think the most impressive thing out of all of this is that GitHub created such a monumentously good name that even after GitHub ceased to be Git for a little bit, everybody's probably still going to keep on using it. I mean, now that, my friends, is one of the most impressive products of all time. At this point, it seems like GitHub is more addictive than cigarettes. Jen. Hey, is that a...
Do you guys run into that one? I'm curious. That's God, it's absolutely wild. I mean, this chart, I saw this chart from that video. Well, like literally, it's hard to, do you guys see what this line is? Microsoft acquires GitHub line. Code spaces and Copilot excluded due to launch partway through data set. Okay, so GitHub average uptime by month, and then boom. Like, I mean, it's really hard to deny that timeline. The other bit, so okay, there's some downtime from the acquisition, got it, and like whatever. The other bit to like start to think about, where would oh man, no, I was gonna try to help them out here. 2020. I was going to try to help them out and say AI coding agents have obviously been slamming GitHub with so much more code than they've ever had before. But that really wasn't until like here, right? Like 2023. I mean, you have ChatGPT. The ChatGPT moment was in 23? Question mark ish, but like coding agents really kind of are more recent. So like there's a whole lot of what the hell's going on. Pretty crazy. What's the breakdown? GitHub Actions is the big thing. Did GitHub Actions even exist in this line? Yeah, it did. So there is data. It's just blue. Okay. GitHub Actions is the big one. 98. 19 uptime. It's pretty wild. 2 nines even for API requests is just nuts. Major outages, 8 hours. 8 hours of major outages in a month. It's by month. Oof. Bad. Everything is getting worse. You don't know what GitHub Actions is and you refuse to learn? I would have taught you, but if you refuse to learn, I'm not going to teach you. I'm not going to tell you anything. What else did I have pulled up? We went through the SMS Blaster scary site. Ooh, this one kind of piqued my interest. I mean, that's not the biggest number of people, but like pretty sensitive information, right? Or capabilities, depending on what it was. So it's just Shiny Hunter, stole personal information of 5.5 individuals. Notification went out via have I been pwned. Wow, we're getting the founded in 1874 as American District Telegraph, ADT. All right. We are getting the backstory here. Currently providing monitored security home solutions to over 6 million residents. Oh, so that's pretty much all of them, huh? That's pretty much all the customers. I didn't realize that they only had that many customers. You would have thought that ADT would have had more customers than that, to be honest. All right. Investigation confirmed that the information involved was limited to names, phone numbers, and addresses. What's the date? What's the date range? Critically, no payment information. Yeah, I mean, that's still kind of gnarly, right? The extortion group told Bleeping Computer they allegedly breached the company after compromising an employee's Okta account via a voice phishing attack. What do I keep telling all of you? Your number one priority should be, if you do not have a solution for this, literally don't worry about anything else. I'll say it. I get yelled at when I say it because then you'll get hacked via other things. But just literally stop what you're doing. The threat actors are screaming how they're going to hack you. Screaming. This is the attack that they used in all of the attacks that they've done in the last 5 years. This is the same MO. Either SMS or voice on an employee to steal a single sign-on token. Do they have disabled pins? I don't know. Nothing bad. Everyone's name, address. Yeah, I know. But just like, I know it's not the biggest deal of a breach, right? $5.5 million isn't. I mean, it's a lot. But yeah, it's the home addresses, right? That's like kind of spicy for people. But you're right. That could be figured out elsewhere. What are they trying to sell it for? Oh, they're trying to extort the company. They're not trying to sell the info. Basic info is no longer considered a breach. Yeah, I think we're kind of already there, right? The thing is, like, the information does get stale. People get new phone numbers. People move. You can't rotate your social, but the same group stole 9 million records from Medtronic, world's largest medical device maker. Oh my God. The construction equipment turned off. I didn't even realize that the background noise was still there. Sweet, sweet quiet. Didn't even realize it was still there. It was that much of background noise. What up, Portbuster? We're gonna watch Ironic soon, so glad you're here. All right, what else do we want to talk about? I haven't read this article yet. I grabbed this one. We can read it together. Senators seek answers about hackers obtaining sensitive student data from ostensibly anonymous tip line. Amazon refund guy video. I'm gonna be honest. YouTube is one of my like go-to content consumption things in my normal life, like off stream. And so the algorithm is like constantly like promoting ironic or similar videos about cyber criminals. And I'm like, ooh, I can't watch this on my own. I got to watch this on stream. You think the GitHub outage graph is misleading? It's mostly actions which only launched around when the outages are. Looks like they've always been unreliable. Let's pull that back up because that's what I was thinking that same thing. Hold on, let's pull it back up. Where was that? Crap. I closed that browser tab. The prime timeogen.
GitHub.
Let's pull that back up. Let's look. So I agree, right? But it's set, I mean, okay, average of all component uptime. Okay, then breakdown. So you go down here, actions is listed back here, all the way back in 2016. So let's do that. When did GitHub Actions come out? 2019. So this graph sucks. No, launched in 2018, GitHub Actions. Okay. All right. So this graph should not list this because those things didn't exist back then. GitHub Actions didn't exist. GitHub Actions came out around now. Okay, Lee. It hadn't launched. Yeah, okay. They backfilled it. Okay. I completely agree. But you kind of have to see the rest of it too, right? So like, yeah, GitHub Actions are the spikes down to 98% or whatever, right? But like, I mean, GitHub API and outages, Git operations, even in a given month, go down to 2 nines. You know what I mean? So February 2026. So yeah, if we ignore GitHub Actions, I wish I could like uncheck it. Oh, I can. Okay. So if we ignore GitHub Actions, I mean, there's still things, right? Okay, say we also don't care about pages. Say we also don't really care about... No, we kind of care about everything else, right? Everything else is like main GitHub stuff. But say we don't care about actions or pages. I mean, pull requests, unless they're also like fibbing on some of this other stuff, right? Like pull request going down to 1.9. You know? Like even some of these ones close up are 3 nines. And like 3 nines is still not the goal for stuff. Like, all right. Anecdotally, I know a lot of developers who are like, well, can't do shit today. GitHub's down for a while. Or like, can't do shit for a while. GitHub's down, right? You know what I mean? Have the amount of users increased exponentially post-acquisition? Probably not. So what I would think is I would like another line here for Claude Code release. When did Claude Code come out? June 20th, 2024, Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Okay. Yeah, it's about when I think coding. Yeah, that's the first model I remember using pretty heavily in coding projects. Not just like pasting functions into ChatGPT and being like, do this. All right. So that's June 2024 is right around here. Okay. So no. You would think that's June 2024. So you would think that would, because I've heard that as an excuse, right? Is like GitHub is seeing so much more code and pull requests and all sorts of stuff. They're getting slammed due to AI agents, right? Look at this. This just came across my feed. Oh, wow. Look at this. I hadn't seen this. Sorry, this just came up. I'm not sharing my screen. Okay. Look at this. And it says like, yo, everyone go turn your routers on and off. Memo from the United States government now suggests prime target for hackers. Yeah. Well, you guys remember, I like had a meltdown, right? Lee, there's still something going on bad at this time, but misrepresenting that one thing made it a little distrustful. Yeah, I agree. There's some bad graph juju in there, for sure. There's some bad graph juju in there. So if we go to the average, yeah. So this is some bad graph juju because you can't take actions out of it, right? Working with Anthropic so much. Thought 98 was enough. Yeah. That's have you seen the meme? Look at that. I mean, this is bad, right? That's really bad. Major outages. This is by day. This is just 90 days. That's pretty bad. Have you seen the meme? It's like, it's the Whole Foods 3-pepper blend. Oh man. Yeah. It's easy to throw rocks from over here. I have zero responsibility right now to keep anything online. So all right. So NSA, I had like a big crash out. Oh God, this is AI generated. AI generated. U.S. cybersecurity agencies recently disrupted a network of SOHO routers used by Russian government, exploiting outdated and poorly secured routers. Importantly, these hacks don't just impact the big boys. All right, your router is a big deal. 4 actions you should do right now is update, change the default, disable remote management, and replace outdated routers. Restart your router for robust resilience, ! In the H2. Restarting your router is a simple habit that helps. We recommend rebooting your router periodically. Monthly is a good place to start. Also, turn on the automatic updates in your router if possible. Rebooting matters because it can disrupt certain types of malware and clear temporary connections that attackers exploit. While rebooting isn't a silver bullet, it's a great habit. Everybody should reboot their routers. All right. I just saw this come up, but it's kind of some bullshit, right? But this is new. This is new. What is this? Hold on. In related news, Firestarter backdoor used for persistent on Cisco boxes in widespread campaign. Good luck, y'all. Thanks. State-sponsored group developed custom backdoor for Cisco network security devices, survives a reboot and firmware upgrades. Great. That's according to U.S. British security authorities at CISA. They said initial intrusions began with 2 very old CVEs from last year, but persisted even after the customer patched the device. That's bad. At least one federal agency was breached. The agency described it as widespread campaign without disclosing the number of victims. Firestarter manipulates the mount list for Cisco Services Platform, CSP mount list. They execute Firestarter, then they mount. The mount list allows programs and commands to be executed as part of the device boot sequence. How does it survive a firmware update? The persistent mechanism triggers during graceful reboot, a process in which termination signal is received. Firestarter also checks the run level for value 6, indicating device reboot, and in case of a match, it writes itself to a backup location, updates the mount list to copy itself back to this Lina CS, and then be executed. When Firestarter runs after reboot, it restores the original CSP mount list, removes the Trojanized copy, because the run level triggers establishment of this transient persistent mechanism, a hard reboot, for example, after the device has been unplugged from power, effectively removes the implant from the device. So you have to physically cycle power. A soft reboot will give it time to like squirrel itself away. Is kind of nuts. The only way to spot this is in memory analysis. Malware tools for both Cisco Firepower and secure firewall devices. However, Cisco has only observed successful implant of the malware in the wild on Cisco Firepower device. These old software versions after these are not vulnerable to the initial vulnerabilities. However, if a device previously ran a software version that predates these releases, it may still be compromised, even if it's been updated. Why? The two said, the advanced persistent threat tracked by Cisco. How does it survive an upgrade? Because that the upgrade doesn't do anything to this mount list, I guess. And the upgrade does a soft update that allows it to still squirrel away its version. This is fudging nuts. Then it just goes off the rails. Dude, we're not talking enough about this. I didn't see this one. This is from 2 days ago. Memory analysis, your love language? Oh, I don't want to be your spouse, man. Oh. That's a bad one, guys. Why are we not talking enough about this? Oof. Dislike. I mean, this isn't even on Cisco, right? They have a patch for it from 2025. Where's that CVE? What were the CVEs? Ba-da-bump. Vulnerability in the VPN web server of Cisco Firewall. It's in the Kev. It's a classic buffer overflow. Yeah, so I mean, these kinds of vulns happen. They patched it. This is on you, right? October. What was the other one? There's 2 CVEs listed. NVD calls it an 8.6. Cisco calls it a medium. Authorization. So combine a buffer overflow with a missing authorization. What does it say? Cisco can cause unpatched devices to unexpectedly reload, leading to DOS, which doesn't sound crazy. But when paired with the other bit is probably when being accessible without authentication. This vulnerability is due to improper validation of user supplied. Yeah, I don't really understand how they pair. Because that's a DOS, and this is a buffer overflow. Could allow an authenticated remote attacker to execute code. So, okay. So this is like a missing auth bug that could be used as a reload DOS, but it's probably also just a missing auth that then could be used to launch this, which otherwise requires auth. That's what I'm guessing. So agencies were forced to be patched on this in September, but obviously didn't. Mark as in the target. Is there an inverse definition between red and blue? Oh, sorry, I missed it one above it. Still learning. How do you define persistence? Is it relative to the mark, the target, or is this more of a general thing that shows up in many different ways? And then Jay says, I use an analogy. What does it matter if you change the locks but leave the window open? Yeah, so persistence is there's initial access and then there's persistence. So a lot of bugs don't allow for persistence. So it's like why this whole reboot advice is actually good advice. So like if there's been tons of vulnerabilities for iOS, but if you get hacked via a lot of them, whatever is executing is just happening like right then in memory. If you reboot the device, the malware evaporates. You would have to get re-hacked. You would have to like whatever, like download the stuff, like go find the hack somewhere again. Persistence means you don't have to get re-hacked. The hacker then puts something, a backdoor, something, right? Like this little squirrel trick of like, oh, we're gonna rerun our little hack because if we see a soft reset coming in, we see this reset coming in. Hey, before you do that, shovel our code into this little backup script that on boot, it's going to like run that backup script and we're going to come back online. So ultimate persistence is turn it off and back on again doesn't work. Yeah, basically. Right? Or they pivot, right? So there's like initial access, lateral movement, and then persistence. So it's like you could hack a box and then like pivot to other boxes or like platforms is what we're seeing a lot nowadays is like not necessarily like pivoting to other boxes, but like, okay, you're in to a box or someone's account, go pivot somewhere else, right? Like we saw it in GitHub. There was persistence with GitHub. That was no boxes were hacked on those GitHub things, right? Their GitHub accounts were hacked. And then somehow, oh, well, then the persistence mechanism was that VS Code extension. So I guess some boxes were hacked. I guess that's true. But you could have persistence that has nothing to do with a box being hacked. You could be like in someone's account and you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to squirrel away my access over here. Maybe I'm going to create myself a new user. So I hacked a user. I got in. That user had permission to create new users. I'm going to make a new user. So even if they like clean up my hack on this user, I have a whole nother user now that maybe they won't find. That's a persistence mechanism. There's lots of different persistence mechanisms. Mythos is not contained. The Cloudflare encryption and daemon features let it get out. Oh no, Mythos is out. I don't know if you're being facetious or not, but that's not a thing. Mythos is not contained. It's the ultimate AI hacker has escaped containment. It's currently hacking everyone. Mythos is currently hacking everyone. How do you know when your effort for persistence is moot? Oh, you're not kidding. Oh, I'm sorry, Slangley. I wasn't making fun of you. I thought you were kidding. Nah, none of that's happening. That's a big claim. If it is, I need some proof. And Mythos isn't actually a super hacking machine. It's just like good at finding memory bugs in code. It's not like, go Mythos, hack the Pentagon, make no mistakes. That's not a thing. It's just good at finding memory bugs in old code, which happens to be a lot of code. So it can find a lot of vulnerabilities. How do you know when your effort for persistence is moot? The pivot in the corporate world means we fucked up, so we doing something else. But here you're saying actually just move around to better stuff. Colin, rephrase. When you say you know, are you talking the attacker? How do you know when your effort for persistence is moot? Like the attacker? Like how does the attacker know when like they shouldn't do persistence more? Or whatever? Yeah, Mythos. Go escape containment, hack everything. Break RSA, encryption. Go, go, go. How does the attacker know that their persistence is moot? They might not. It depends on the tradecraft that we're talking about. If it's malware, a lot of this stuff is like pre-built into the malware, right? So it like gets in and it's like going to run a bunch of stuff. And a lot of those malware have persistence like mechanisms. So a lot of this happens at machine speed because they know what they're getting into, right? So like if Luma Stealer gets in, they know what kind of box they're getting on, and they have lots of little persistence levers to like throw at the wall, and like maybe some of them will stick, right? And then can continue to like call out to their C2 server. But like, how does the attacker know that their persistence is moot? I mean, they just keep trying stuff, right? Like, so in a lot of these Okta hacks, right? They get into Okta, they see what that token has access to. And they're like, boom, spray. Like, what does this Okta account that we just got into have access to? Can we go and like shovel away access, because they're going to shut down this token as soon as they realize that this is a hacked token, right? So what can I go get access to real quick? And they like generate new tokens, shovel those away, like whatever it is. So there's no like one answer to like, how does the attacker know their persistence effort is moot? They also know what they currently are sitting on, right? So like a lot of these attacks will be like pretty surface level malware if they're not currently like ready to burn a 0-day on the operating system, but they're using like a Microsoft 365 attack or something like that. It's hard for them to get from email onto Box without like the person executing malware. So it's like, hey, we're not even going to try to like escape into the operating system and do persistence, because they just know that that's not what they're sitting on right now in terms of their attack payload. Isn't it going to generate more scrutiny when there's a big uptick in network traffic for those specific things? Is there a big uptick in network traffic? But yeah, a lot of the persistence mechanisms that we're talking about are known tradecraft. So like as soon as you find the compromise, you're like, oh, I know that they probably made another user. Let me go figure out if this user made a new user and then go kill that, right? So they're not all foolproof, but it's to buy them time. It's to persistence against less sophisticated attackers or defenders. Check if you're still in containment, pull apart the malware, and then see if you can replicate and see if you're still vulnerable. I mean, my smooth brain on malware analysis is smooth. So let's see. Here, I'm just pulling up like a random thing from my browser history. Huntress does like a ton of this stuff, right? With like actual malware reverse engineering, right? So let's see. So this is a pups thing from I don't know, last week, 2 weeks ago. Dragon Boss solution left an open door on 25,000 endpoints. So Huntress like checks for endpoints, right? It's like an endpoint security tool, right? They're an EDR. So it's kind of hard to see this thing, huh? So victim installs pup, not important for what we're talking about, right? Reaches out to their C2, which is command and control, delivers the payload, executes all this stuff. Does a whole bunch of like other malware-y things, and then has like a bunch of scheduled tasks and stuff like this, right? So what are they doing? I remember reading this. I don't think we like did the malware reversing on stream. I'm not like a malware reversing guy, right? This was never like one of my main skill sets. But like basically you can read these and like this is malware tradecraft, and basically everything after initial access is trying to gain persistence and data exfil. So like all these other little tricks that we're scrolling past right now, which are very different compared to whatever malware we're talking about, are all very different. This is all persistence and exfil. And like trying to level up their permissions, right? Persistence establishment. This is what I was looking for. So it gets the payload, and And then the script creates 5 scheduled tasks in the system. Right? So you're right. This is all noisy. But like if any one of these things survive, then something is still like lingering around on the system. So say the victim didn't have EDR on it to like do this like full analysis. This would be hard, right? So clock setup at boot runs clock removal to ensure WMI subscription is active, plus 30 seconds of the kill of an AV process. Okay. Then a startup task, registry only disabled of AV services run before AV starts. Another startup task, full AV removal pass. This uninstalls your antivirus. There's a logon task, executes this scheduled removal pass, WMI ensure, kill removal host block, recurring tasks every 30 minutes, continued monitoring and removal, right? Oh, yeah, Jay, for sure. I mean, we are, like, the reason they have to get this creative is we've gotten really good at catching all this stuff, right? Recurring removal sweeps at boot, login, and every 30 minutes, the script executes full removal routines that kills processes, runs vendor uninstallers. So, like, this is like them desperately every boot, login, or 30 minutes, whatever happens first is going to, like, try to get rid of all the security tools that you have on your device that are trying to kill it. I mean, these are just, nasty malware things. I mean, if we just like, I mean, the Huntress blog is generally full of this kind of stuff, right? Very zoomed in. What's some other stuff? I tend to not read a lot of these on stream because, like, I mean, even just now, like, we just lost 8 viewers because I'm like reading malware reversing, and people are just like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" Because it's hard. It's hard to like this is like a whole skill set, and honestly, it's not like the most widespread needed skill set in the industry. So, like, unless you really, really like this stuff, you don't accidentally wind up doing malware reversing because companies don't. No, I know that you guys are here, but like, I like you. The more technical I get, the steeper stuff drops off, right? But like, it's not like any company. Most companies don't hire and maintain their own malware reverse engineers or malware analysts. You know, because not a lot of companies are getting custom malware delivered to them, so they can rely on their EDR vendor or whatever it is, intelligence vendors, to do the malware reversey stuff for them, right? What is the most needed? My answer to that right now and for a while has been detection engineering. I think every company, regardless of AI paths or anything, is going to need more and more people building more and more detections, especially if Mythos capability is even slightly real. We're going to, detections are going to get more and more important. If vulns get cheap, right? If like all of a sudden everyone has a tool that can go find novel vulnerabilities, which we're getting there, then detections are super important. Isn't detection engineering the inverse of malware engineering? No, because not all detections are malware. Not all attacks are malware. Like, I'd say the vast majority of detections have nothing to do with malware. The bane of YouTube. We want content. This is too serious. Yeah, totally. Is it a different access of on which to view things? Yeah. Let's pull up my favorite detection engineering source. Zach, who leads up detection engineering for Datadog, has this website, Detection Engineering Weekly. It's his newsletter. He kind of did some of his like what is detection engineering stuff, kind of like beginner things. And a lot of them are this kind of stuff, right? It's just like corporate thingies that have gone bad. Like, how do you pull out malicious behavior from a stack of behavior? Yeah, malware is in there, right? But like any sufficiently sophisticated attacker will be indistinguishable from one of your employees, because that's probably what they did. They probably hacked an employee. So it's not like an attacker gets on a SaaS account or gets on like a box and makes a new username that's like leet hacker, like about to go nuts, right? It's like, no, they compromise a legitimate account. So you have to be watching the logs and the behavior of all of your legitimate accounts and then trying to piecemeal, hey, that account shouldn't be doing that. And a lot of times the attacker wants to do things that the account does do on a regular basis. So you got to like find the little things that it's like, no, yeah, yes, that account would send data from that box to that box. That does happen. Yeah, that account would reach out to the internet to like do something, but it wouldn't have done it this way. It wouldn't have done it at that time of day from that device. It wouldn't have done whatever, right? Sounds like it's data analytics. You can work on stats degree. Yeah, I mean, that's like a huge part of a lot of this, especially for a while. Like data science and security was really hot for a while. Like I loved hiring data people. But like for a lot of this, it's like, all right, so we just talked about that. Let's pull it back up. This one, ADT got hacked, right? ADT got hacked. How? How did ADT get hacked? Wasn't malware. It wasn't Mythos. It wasn't the AI super hacker. It was the same thing that we've seen these attackers do for years that I've been screaming about is everyone's number one priority, okay? They social engineered someone on the other end of the line to give them access to someone's Okta account, okay? Now, what do we do? We're the security team at ADT. What do we do? What happens now? How did we catch this? Because, okay, you can't just like train your way out of this. So voice phishing. So they called an employee. They called something, the help desk, something. They called some number. They probably pretended to be an employee that needed to do a password reset or something like that. Or they already had the password via something and they needed like MFA turned off because they lost their phone or whatever it was, right? Say they had MFA and they had whatever. They call and they say, hey, I got a new phone. I need MFA disabled, or I need MFA transferred to this new phone that I got, because they already have the password via something else, right? A data leak, some other malware, whatever, right? Some other phishing attack against that employee, but they just don't have MFA. So there's a few different ways they do this attack, but like not infinite ways they do this attack. What does the security team need to build to catch this? Because you're not going to train, we're not succeeding in training our help desk in like not falling for this, right? Call up, pretend to be an employee. I got to do a password reset. I got to do an MFA reset. You're never going to train the help desk to not fall for that. So what do we need to do? Legitimately asking. Let's go. Pop quiz time, everybody. Guys, I bought some coffee for home. I got an espresso as a Christmas present. I don't really like throwing out all these pods and stuff. I was in Costco the other day and the only coffee pods they had were Starbucks pods. The Starbucks espresso pods for the Nespresso give me such a headache, and it's like not caffeine related because I consume enough caffeine to kill small animals. But these specific pods give me so much of a headache. What's PCA? I don't know what that acronym is right now. What's PCA? Principal component analysis? I don't know what that means. Statistical technique used to dimensionally reduce to enhance threat detection, anomaly detection. Okay, so sure, that's like a really fancy way to say it. But yeah, so like the actual like layers that you need to put in here are on the Okta behavior side. So the attackers get in via this voice phishing thing. So they completely now own this Okta account. What do they do from then? What do they do from then? Like, they definitely don't behave like the normal user. What up? Thanks, Kilobyte. Oh, guys, I'm really... Take the card. We're taking the Hobbit's Isengard. Thanks, Kilobyte. Appreciate you. I'm really embarrassed. I've been notified that I reversed DEFCON 1, DEFCON 2. Like, the numbers go up as you, like, do higher subscriptions, and they should go down, right? Embarrassing. It was more like because my logo, the emojis that I commissioned someone to make me subscriber emojis, and they're the DEFCON logo. I don't know if DEFCON as a conference is going to get mad at me for that. I am not popular enough for them to care at the moment. Thanks, Kilobyte. Appreciate you. So what the attacker does once they have the Okta account is the answer. And this is detection engineering, okay? So how do you build detections on Okta logs to catch that it's shiny hunters on that Okta account and not the user? There's a gazillion things. Oh, they've never logged in from that device before. They just called the help desk, right? Like, we have signal that they just called the help desk. They just reset their password or they just reset their MFA. That's signal that you have from some source somewhere, right? Like, we have an admin at the help desk that just did something to this account. Now we have access from a device we've never seen before. We probably have access from an IP address or geolocation thing that we've never seen before, right? That employee has never logged in from that state or country, right? Is there impossible geo? Maybe this is during business hours. That employee was logged in from their home in California, and all of a sudden, they called the help desk, and we're seeing a login come in from somewhere that they could not have possibly traveled fast enough. Are they logging in from a known data center or VPN IP address that they've never used before? These are public bits of information. You can build these detections, right? Like, you can build a detection that says, we allow no Okta logins from data center IP addresses. There's no reason that an employee should ever be catching an Okta session from a known data center IP. You can Google it right now, known data center IPs. They're just known IP blocks, right? Just block those IP blocks. Done, right? Cannot accept a login from a data center, which is where a lot of the VPNs terminate, right? You can go one step further and say known VPN things. But the attackers are smart. They use residential proxies from the United States, right? So a lot of times that's not enough, but you should do it. Just because it's not enough doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. But then what? Okay, they just called the help desk. They're logging in from a previously unseen device that we've never seen before, probably from an unseen location we've never seen before. And then they clicked every Okta tile. Oh, that user has never clicked all these Okta tiles. This is what these attackers do. Oh, shit, we got an Okta account. What do we have access to? Go. And they click Workday, GitHub, fucking Google. They click everything. Right? Well, that shouldn't have ever happened, and that should set off every alarm. But the problem is most people don't have these alarms set up. This is detection engineering. You appreciate the gate info makes your workday go so much faster. Hey, Kilobyte, appreciate you. Kilobyte is one of my regulars that I respect because he works all day. He's learning while he's working right now, and he goes to school after hours, and he's not a young pup. He's not a young pup. He's got like a family and shit. Because that sounds like a huge request that only Okta can see. Wouldn't those logs take time and red tape? No. No, they shouldn't, right? You should be able to pipe all of this stuff in real time to whatever system you're setting up, right? This is what SIMs are supposed to do. But a lot of SIMs don't have this kind of stuff. I mean, this is why I hate Okta. Right here. I just hate Okta in general because why doesn't any of this work like this out of the box? Like, why do I need a whole security team that's an expert at Okta to configure Okta and the detections properly? Right? Like, I didn't realize how much shit we hadn't turned on in Okta until I was dealing with an incident and like trying to get the right logs. And Okta was like, you don't pay for the right level of support for those logs. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I just need logs. And then there was all sorts of features we didn't have turned on and all sorts of bells and whistles we didn't have turned on that we don't know about until you're dealing with an incident. This is why I think detection engineering is probably one of the more important roles that you could have on a security team these days. Where I'm pushing a lot of people. Okay, I'll pause a little bit. Maybe not one of the most important role. Definitely one of the most important roles. Maybe not like top of the pile, but it's definitely the most underserved. I'll go with that. Okay, this is the hardest skill set to hire for. Gap between how many people we need to be working on this versus how many people out there have this skill set. I'm confident in saying that. I'm confident in saying probably this and then the AI stuff, because not enough people are like caught up on a lot of the AI engineering stuff. So if you became like a super expert in all the AI workflow, Claude Code, Codex, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. If you became an expert in that, you're a small fish in a big pond at that point too. There's a huge need for experts in that space. That's why Francisco, who hangs out in chat, went to that boot camp. That someone that was the head of security, something at Coinbase, went to the boot camp with Francisco to put them through 10 weeks of hell to get up to speed on AI stuff, to then get an even more interesting job, because they realized that even though they were the head of something security at Coinbase, that they weren't expert enough at the AI stuff. And they were like, let's go become an expert on that. The gauntlet with Francisco. Yeah. Yeah. So like, I'd say those two areas, I don't know, anyone else with an opinion, chime in. I'd say those two areas, the detection engineer capability and the AI security engineer, or just AI engineering capabilities, has the fewest number of talented people with the biggest number of, with the highest need. I don't feel like I'm saying too much of a hot take there. I don't think that's too hot of a take. January, February. So someone just said, hey, my timeline question, right? I posted this on Twitter. What's a YouTube short? My career advice? Clip it. I need clippers. I need clippers. I'm never gonna be that big of a streamer here, folks. It's you guys. It's you guys and me. All right. So I'm still confused about this timeline. March 23rd is the first point on this timeline. Right? Oh God, I don't know why I'm just bugged on this. I don't details are important on major ripple effect attacks like this, right? So I want to make sure we're clear about when and how initial access happened and how initial access persisted this whole time. Because if that's the event and this is persistence, and then Andy's he was the CISO of Akamai for like 20 years. Andy's like, March 23rd isn't exfil, it's the publication of artifacts. It's like, all right, well then, when the fuck was exfil? If it says nearly 1 month after suspected exfil on March 30th, the timeline needs to go back into February. Right? What the fuck is going on? And I'm like, all right, well then what? Like, what are we talking about? Wiz, the site we read last week, there's a new update on the GitHub Actions bit. I had that up earlier. We pulled that up earlier. Where? I was talking about this 80% graph. There's a new update today on this site. Where? What didn't we cover? What's updated? I'm going to the bottom. We covered this whole page fucking line by line. That should be a YouTube video, to be honest. I don't see an update. Oh, just like new on there. Oh, not related to this. Gotcha. Where? Blog? Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Good look. This wasn't live when I was collecting stuff this morning. Is this fucking for real? A single git push command was enough to exploit a flaw in GitHub's initial internal protocol and achieve code execution on backend infrastructure. Is this fucking for real? Here you go, chat. Here's the story of the day. These are a bunch of scary words. A critical flaw in GitHub's internal Git infrastructure. Dude, we've been beating up on GitHub all day and this wasn't even out yet. We've been beating up GitHub all stream. Literally, like, I was covering this for half an hour and this wasn't even out yet. Whoa. Oh, I just see it on Twitter. Holy shit. It just showed up on Twitter in the last hour. While I was live, this came out. Yeah, this didn't exist when I was gathering my news this morning. Unauthorized access to millions of repos. Holy shit. All right. Oh my gosh. Well, let's tweet this. I wish I didn't have to close that every time, but I do. Whoa. Whoa. Good call out, Colin. Oh, I wasn't sharing my screen. Sorry, guys. I was typing it. Holy shit. That's another YouTube short. We're pumping them out today. Well, I need someone to be making these clips because it ain't me. What happened? Git push RCE arbitrary read write? When a user runs git push against GitHub via SSH, Jesus Christ, this is crazy. Hold on, I gotta like text this to some people. Holy shit. Thanks for the call out, Colin. When a user runs git push against GitHub via SSH, the critical link between these components is the xstat header. Carries a security critical field, semicolon delimited key value pairs. Okay. All right, so we've got Babel D, a Git proxy, entry point for all Git operations. Does Git auth, internal auth service, verifies users' credentials. Git RPC daemon receives the request from Babel, parses the xstat header, and sets up environment for downstream processes. Critically, Git RPC performs no authentication of its own. It trusts Babel completely and treats every field in the xstat header as authoritative. Well, that's not good because headers are user input. A compiled Go binary that enforces security policies before a push is accepted. It checks file size limits, branching names. Okay. So xstat is semicolon. Got it. Internal services parse this header by splitting on semicolon, and it's user supplied. The map uses last write wins semantics. If a key appears twice, the later value silently overvalues the earlier one. I see where this is going. Do you all see where this is going? I've hacked enough websites to know exactly what this paragraph means. When Babel forwards a push, one of the internal requests includes push options in xstat header. Git pushes options. Holy shit. All right. We should even update our title on this one, huh? This is like, let's update our title. This is hot off the press. It's pretty nuts. All right. Git push. Oh, Git push operation are arbitrary strings. They are standard Git protocol feature intended for server-side hints. Babel includes the number of fields. Yeah, user-controlled header, xstat, without proper sanitization. Babel, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen, right? Copies Git push option values directly into xstat header without sanitizing semicolons. Since semicolon is the delimiter, any semicolon in a push option breaks out of its designated field, and it takes the last one. So if you duplicate it at the end, it's going to take it. Consider the push option. See, they duplicate it. Consider a push option value that contains a semicolon followed by a security name field. It embeds it verbatim, producing a header like this. When splitting on the semicolon, it parses it as this, which is injected. It overrides the earlier one, and then they can write their own shit. We confirm that both through binary analysis and on the wire, a packet capture on live GitHub Enterprise servers. Yeah, so GitHub Enterprise is vulnerable too. So you overwrite the security flags like large blob rejection enabled, but the real question is, can we turn it into RCE? 3 fields: Rails environment, custom hooks directory, and pre-received hooks. Bypass the sandbox, redirect the hook to a hook directory, and then inject a hook definition with the path traversal. The non-production path then executes the resolved path directly. When unsandbox code execution as the Git user, we have full control over GitHub Enterprise instance, including file system read write access. So that was GitHub Enterprise. That's RCE on GitHub Enterprise, the self-hosted stuff. The next question was obvious. Does this work on github.com? We ran the same exploitation chain. The push completed successfully, but the custom hooks never executed. No remote output. To understand what happened, we injected this to enable the debug mode. We went back, dug deeper. Since this flag also carried an xstat header, it was injectable through the same mechanism. One more injected field, and the full exploitation worked on github.com. RCE on github.com confirmed. Holy shit. Guys. Oh my gosh. RCE on GitHub Enterprise servers is critical. On GitHub.com, the same flaw had broader implications due to shared infrastructure served by multiple organizations. Multi-tenant platform, repos belonging to millions of different orgs and users stored on shared backend infrastructures. When we achieved execution, whoa. And it was read write, right? Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my gosh, that's absolutely insane. That's a huge, huge, huge bug. Wait, am I right? So GitHub Enterprise, you got to roll your own patch here, right? Whoa, AI augmented reverse engineering tooling, IDA MCP. Whoa, 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 whoa. So if you're GitHub Enterprise, you have to do your own thing, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can I sneak it in here? No. Darn, hold on. Cut this out. Oh my gosh. And one more tweet in the thread is the one that I just cut. Okay. That's a lot of scary words when combined. GitHub RCP would have allowed access to millions of repos. Wild. They found the vuln worked on self-hosted GitHub Enterprise, then realized it worked on GitHub Tom, meaning read-write to millions of repos. RCE was so broad-reaching because of the shared infrastructure. If the box that got popped via RCE also had your code on it, you would have been impacted. Huge. Glad this was found by security researchers. Oh, and snuck in at the end. Bug was found with the help of AI tooling, IDA MCP, for not using AI and static analysis at this point, ... One of the more impactful bugs I've seen in a while. Great job, Wiz team, on this one. This is patched on github.com, by the way. Same day. GitHub Enterprise, folks. You need to upgrade. Okay. Wow. Sorry, Chad. I completely ignored you there for a while. Does this mean the exploit has been there the whole time? I mean, yeah, that code has probably been there for a long time. Jo, what's up? Yeah, I'm on top of it. Holy shit. Well, chat was on top of it. That came out while I was streaming. They definitely use Mythos. I don't know if Wiz is part of Glasswing. They didn't say Mythos. They said IDA MCP. I mean, I wouldn't actually be surprised because that type of bug would be something that Mythos should be good at, right? Get on the server so back. Can guarantee there's nothing to be missing. Morning, yes. I can tell you type way faster than me. I do type pretty fast. Starting to feel like it's on purpose. Mythos to the rescue. You guys are, I mean, you might be joking, but like, that's the kind of shit that Mythos is actually good at. The question about Mythos is, would 4.6 find it? Yeah. I mean, I think probably 4.6 is what found it here. IDA MCP probably with 4.6 because I don't think Wiz was part of Glasswing. They didn't mention it in that post, and you would think that they would. Man, I am like texting people. Jay, he's loving this. Gotta explaining it to a bunch of white shirt. Oh, because Jay works with the Git stuff, right? Why did this tweet just die? I just like went to send a tweet and it just fucking died. Why did sending a tweet? There we go. Holy shit. This bug is insane. Jay's in forecasting. Where's he at on this? Where you at forecasting this one? Oh my gosh, man, that just nuked my day. I mean, that's like the biggest story of the day, right? Well, it is and it isn't because it's fixed already. Security researchers found it with AI. GitHub patched it the same day. So unless you're using GitHub Enterprise, you don't have anything to do here. I mean, at what point do we worry if that was ever exploited in the past or not? Or do we just like hope it wasn't? Yo, that's huge. Oh my God, I'm just like kind of floored by this. All right, we got to give, yeah, but like logs, I guess, but like what logs for what? What do you look up? Like, I don't, like, if I was worried about this, I mean, I have repos on github.com that I wouldn't want someone to have random read-write access to. So there has to have been no exploitation, right? Because we wouldn't see the logs of github.com. Like github.com has to try to see if this was ever exploited. We would have no idea. Especially if it was just reads and not writes. What would be the relevant metadata here? How much of this stuff got cached? Yeah, I guess the known exploitation would have to be on that stat header. Oh my God. Yo, that's fucking wild. All right. Do we all go download IDA MCP right now? IDA MCP. Do we all go get IDA Pro MCP like immediately? Right? Like, like what? What does IDA MCP do? This is what Wiz said they used to find that bug. And they were able to do it. Okay. So this is super, super interesting. Guys, we were just talking about this. Oh man, what a day for this to pop up on stream. So literally earlier in stream, you guys were like, why would anyone use github.com anymore? Just like self-host your shit. Right? So like, you currently have work to do if you self-hosted your shit. If you used github.com, this vuln is patched already. So here's why. But the funny part is the reason that they even found this vuln was because GitHub Enterprise exists. So they had the binary for GitHub Enterprise, which they gave to IDA, which is a reverse engineering tool. And then via AI interfacing with IDA MCP, they were able to reverse the GitHub Enterprise binary, find a vuln, tweak it a little bit, send it to github.com, and the shit worked because GitHub Enterprise is kind of a lifted and shifted version. A lot of that code is the same exact code, right? The log's going to be normal, except if you know what to look at. Yeah. Not trying to be an ass, but go to Gemini, put this in there, and they have a breakdown. It'll do pretty good for you. No, you're not an ass. Yeah, Gemini is pretty good at doing this kind of stuff. Yep, unless you somehow know what logs to match and extrapolate the data. Yeah. There might be like a very clear indicator of compromise that we just don't know, right? Because we're not looking at like the full attack chain in front of us. But there might be like a very clear, oh yeah, we can match on someone escaped that xstat header or whatever because there's too many semicolons or something, right? We expect 7 semicolons. There's like fucking 12. Like, okay. You know what I mean? I don't know how variable that is, like on a normal basis. You have to make sure, yeah, if you're GitHub Enterprise, you best be on the most up-to-date version because that vuln is now public. You are now on day 0. Holy shit. That's a cool vuln. That's a really, really cool vuln. Holy shit. That's wild. All right, I gotta give the Friends Home some kudos. If you've been longtime fans of the channel, you've seen both of these people before. So Tuckner runs Security Annex, which is a extension security company. I've had him on the channel when we talked. We've made a ton of videos about malicious extensions. And then Socket is like one of the main people checking NPM for malware, which keeps fucking happening. So I've had the founder of Socket on the channel to talk about stuff. Neither of them paid me. I just invited them to come on the YouTube channel. They're the only 2 founders that I've had on the YouTube channel. And then guess what? Faraz just acquired Tuckner's company. So if the lesson to be learned here, I think, is you should come on my YouTube channel if you would like to be successful and acquired by companies, right? This is a causation, not correlation thing, right? I think so. I think so. The header is the same, just manipulated, same hash size. It's fun to have two different audiences here in Twitch. Sorry if you're being sarcastic and that sucks. I'm sorry. I wish I had a better way to like conjoin chat for you guys besides this really hard to read thing on screen. I am working to make it easier on screen. I promise. I asked my video guy to help me do all this. All right, so then Solst, another internet friend of mine who also knows Tuckner and stuff. I just want to read this really quick. He just put this out, and so this is a big deal, huge inspiration. In fall of 2024, I started looking at Chrome extension. Nobody gave a shit back then. Hey, I gave my first Chrome extension security talk at Black Hat in 2011. Nobody gave a shit back then either. I asked around on a few Slacks, and then Tuckner kept coming out, reached out to John, realized this guy knew his shit, way ahead of the curve, started building something, whole ass tool to monitor Chrome extensions. He quit his job for it. All in, you'd think, oh, of course, he'll go for VC funding, join the circle jerk of marketing psychopaths. Nope. John did it completely alone, no boss, no delusional VC to appease. Instead of deceitful marketing blog posts, he worked on his tool. He did his own research, uncovered real malware campaigns, and became an authority on detecting extensions, detection in the extension ecosystem. I completely agree. Is why I have had John on the channel a few times. He's just doing real research. He's just finding this stuff, right? It wasn't enough to stick to browsers. He got into the IDE extensions. Nobody else had publicly made that connection, and he went for it, understanding the ecosystem, building technical controls and detections, integrating them into a web app while doing this. His own outreach and client success management, all completely solo. So it makes complete sense to me that he'd get acquired within 1.5 years, and Socket being obsessed with third-party dependencies seems like an ideal match. But most of all, his story is incredibly inspiring to me because it proves you don't need anyone to tell you shit. You don't need VC slides with a made-up go-to-market strategy. You don't need an AI-generated launch video. You just need to be passionate and willing to do your own research and let the work speak for itself. Clap, men. Clap. Love practitioner founders. Did I spell that right? Is auto? No. Practitioner. There we go. Founders. You're not really a sarcastic person. You like the crosstalk. Cool. Yeah, I don't mind it either. For me, I can see all of you guys. I can see chat in one window. I know on screen it kind of sucks, but all right. Holy shit. Well, that just derailed all plans of stream. Way to go, Github. Your dyslexia without grammar. Yeah, I'm still not positive I spelled that right. Yeah, you want to do it now? Let's do it now. Let's do ironic now. I had a few YouTube videos to watch, and then we can kind of wrap up. I'm 3 hours live now. Hold on, let me check my calendar. Why am I unauthed from Google? I should never be unauthed from Google. Who's attacked? Has Mythos escaped the lab? All right, I've got a few hours. I'm actually chatting with Alexis, the networking content creator. All right, let's do ironic. I had ironic and that guy up. Can I come on and showcase my new patented dual AES real-time encoding? You need a yacht? Yo, Jay, I have no idea what any of that means. I doubt John got acquired for yacht money. 15 months in as a solo founder, but I'm sure he is probably very happy with the outcome. All right, we're going to watch this. If you guys weren't around last week, Portbuster in Twitch chat turned me on to this YouTube channel, which is kind of my new favorite YouTube channel. A la Darknet Diaries, probably a fair comparison to make. He like breaks down, but instead of like pen testers or hackers or whatever, and Darknet Diaries does threat actors too, but this guy's solely focused on cyber criminals in like the crypto theft and scamming space, and stuff like this. So I'm really, really, really super interested. I think like this has completely nerd sniped me over the past few weeks to the point that like I've become obsessed with crypto scammer tradecraft. So like I'm very familiar with like the cyber crime tradecraft side of things, right? I've done like a ton of incident response in my career. I do this for a living now, so I talk about the cyber criminal side of things. I don't talk a ton. I'm not familiar a ton with like the crypto side of things. So the thing that's been tripping me up on all of this, and I want you guys to all think about this as we like watch this or talk about it in the future, because I want to make more content about this. How the fuck do these criminals steal crypto or demand crypto and extortion or whatever? How do they then buy a house? You know what I mean? How do they then buy a Lamborghini? How do they then buy all these Rolexes? How do they then have a stack of like $120,000 to drop in a nightclub? Because this is how they get caught, right? But like all of the ways that you guys have like thought about like crypto laundering and stuff, a lot of that has been shut down, like the mixers and stuff like this. So like there's like a disconnect between a lot of the stories. Like there's like pieces missing from the stories. And I've been like really, really interested. I've been going down the rabbit hole on this because I'm like, how the fuck? Like, because at this point, I think it's impossible to not get caught, right? Which is like a good thing. I don't own a single crypto anything, right? So like, it's a good thing that we are making it harder to get away with this kind of shit. But like, I truly, truly, truly do not understand how you could possibly get away with any of this stuff at this point. How are they smart enough to scam, but they're so stupid to just throw the money? Because they're like 19, dude. Do you remember being 19? Like, and like smart enough to scam, like, yeah, some of these guys are running like really, really legit type tooling stuff. A lot of them are just like, they're one piece in the crew. So they're like really good at lying to people over the phone, right? The only difference between an expert and a criminal is who you tell your discoveries to. Yeah. So totally, Jay, right? Like we don't have YouTube videos about the people that don't get caught, which is why like I'm missing this gap in my knowledge, but I'm like obsessed with figuring it out now. I'm like, holy shit, what are they doing? Like, what is the latest and greatest right now that like law enforcement hasn't caught up yet and like cybersecurity hasn't caught up yet? Worked at a place where 17-year-old scammers scammed a customer out of $400K. Smart enough to do it, not smart enough to not try and withdraw it all at once. Yeah, 17 years old, right? Dude. All right, which one do you want me to watch? Portbuster, Amazon refund. Do we see it? This one? Yeah, cool. All right, this is like my new favorite YouTube channel. Dude, but I think this channel is why I've been catching some like weird things on my stream that like monetization was split with some musician on my last stream. And I'm like, oh, I think Ironic's background music or something like that, right? How do some hackers never get caught? I understand hackers not getting caught. Like it's pretty easy to not get caught as a hacker. It's like the part that I cannot figure out in the chain is like you've been a hacker, you do the crypto theft, you do the scam, something, underpants gnomes, you buy a Lamborghini. If you don't identify theft, someone who has Coinbase or similar, use it to exfil the money under someone else's name. Yeah. Groups like Shiny Hunter, like I understand how the hackers don't get caught. It's pretty easy to like, if you have good OPSEC, you could just not have your identity tied to all the like activity going on, right? There's like pretty clear OPSEC things to do to like not do that. It's also pretty easy to fuck up, right? Yeah. These guys are getting caught left and right. But they get caught because they catch attention because they're like, they start to do stuff in the real world. They don't get caught a lot because of their hacks. They get caught because like a 19-year-old has a Lamborghini. Or one of the, like we watched the video on Ironic the other day and like the mom called the cops, right? Because the mom overheard a Discord call. The digital to physical. Yeah, and we could go into it. I want to watch the video. We could go into it. There are some ways that do it, but I do not understand like all of the ways that currently exist to do the crypto to like US dollar thing are all just like, oh yeah, that's like very obviously how you're getting caught here. Maybe it's a long game. Yeah, so the ones that haven't gotten caught yet are just sitting on a wallet filled with Monero or something, right? And they are not doing anything with it. Those are the ones that haven't got caught yet. They're just like watching the number go up on the crypto wallet. OPSEC rule number 1, don't trust mom. Jay runs people through open ledgers to see. Yeah. There's that guy, Zach XBT on Twitter, does really cool blockchain analysis. All right, let's watch this.
This video is sponsored by Aura.
Can we hear it?
We all love refunders on this channel. It's like a real-life Robin Hood story happening right in front of you. Some guys find a way to get free items from a huge company and provide other people a service to get cheaper items as a huge fuck you to the big guy. If you've ever used a refund service, you'll know that it literally feels like having a real-life cheat code. You could pay $300 for the newest iPhone, a couple hundred more for a MacBook, and get the AirPod Maxes 2 in there for an extra $120. These are real retail items from an online store like Amazon, and the only thing required from you is you needed to have enough capital to actually buy these items in full before getting your refund. This sounds illegal, because it is. And although it sounds pretty normal with the way I've been talking about it, trying to do any of these things I just mentioned could result in you being permanently blacklisted from the stores involved, and in the worst case, imprisonment. Yeah, I'm actually serious. People have been getting arrested for being associated with these services. It may feel like magic internet money at first, but at the end of the day, you're exposed to...
I don't understand. Wait, do you guys... I'm not familiar with this. Refunding as like a scam. Do you guys understand? I kind of want to go watch that again. I haven't like followed refunding.
Channel. It's like a real-life Robin Hood story happening right in front of you. Some guys find a way to get free items from a huge company and provide other people a service to get cheaper items as a huge fuck you to the big guy. If you've ever used a refund service, you'll know that it literally feels like having a real-life cheat code. You could pay $300 for the newest iPhone, a couple hundred more for a MacBook, and get the AirPod Maxes 2 in there for an extra $120.
I don't understand.
These are real retail items from an online store like Amazon, and the only thing required from you is you needed to have enough capital to actually buy these items in full before getting your refund. This sounds illegal, because it is. And although it sounds pretty normal with the way I've been talking about...
So you buy it, and then you get some sort of refund, but not fully? And there's services that run all this? But how do you keep the item? Sorry, I'm
trying to do any of these things I just mentioned could result in you being permanently blacklisted from the stores involved, and in the worst case, imprisonment. Yeah, I'm actually serious. People have been getting arrested for being associated with these services. It may feel like magic internet money at first, but at the end of the day, you're exposed to wire fraud and mail fraud charges, and those can carry a hefty sentence. This is where one of the biggest refunders in the world, REC, comes in. They used to operate over 85 stores, and for an average fee of 30%, they would refund your items. Let's imagine you bought the iPhone 15 Pro Max for $1,200. You then message REC and...
Oh, just wait, Matt. Watch the fucking video. Just like, don't pause it, restart the video, and ask questions about things that are going to be answered 30 seconds later.
Give him your order number along with your shipping details. REC would then pay his insider employee to get this order marked as refunded, or contact the company himself pretending it got lost. At this point...
that was it.
30%, they would refund your items. Let's imagine you bought the iPhone 15 Pro Max for $1,200. You then message REC and give him your order number along with your shipping details. REC would then pay his insider employee to get this order marked as refunded, or contact the company himself pretending it got lost. At this point, you might think REC is just one person, but you'd be completely wrong. It was a massive group. Matter of fact, they employed 20 people to handle this delicate operation. They also offered way more services like an OTP bot, and even a stealth bank account from Wise to move illegal funds. It's February 17th, 2023. REC posts a job ad to his Telegram channel. He's looking for, among other things, an insider at a major store. Through this ad, and by reaching out to various employees himself, REC manages to hire 7 different Amazon insiders, and he's paying them up to $12,000 per week. The employees know not to work so much, there's plenty of money to go around, and the goal of this operation is stealth. Rek's refund is now processing millions on top of millions in refunded goods and taking home his sweet 30% cut. Hire 7 of his employees.
How did he get the employees?
He's looking for, among other things, Rek posts a job ad to his Telegram channel. He's looking for, among other things, an insider at a major store.
He gets the insiders by posting a job ad on Telegram?
Through this ad, and by reaching out to various employees himself, Rek manages to hire 7 different Amazon insiders, and he's paying them up to $12,000 per week.
12 grand a week? Oh. Yeah. That would get you some insiders. Holy shit, that they had enough movement to be paying the insiders $12K a week. But I mean, if you are doing that much volume, there's no way these insiders don't set off an alarm. If like one rep, like that's hundreds of things that they're going to mark refunded, which has to be an anomaly on the Amazon side, right? There's no fucking way that that's like a good idea.
The employees know not to work so much, there's plenty of money to go around, and the goal of this operation is stealth. Rek's refund is now processing millions on top of millions in refunded goods and taking home his sweet 30% cut. The business is growing massively, and because of this, their Telegram channel now has over 35,000 followers. With a good
I do this for a living. How did I not hear about a 35,000 person Telegram channel that was just running fucking Amazon scams? Once Matt underestimates how much bad money. Yeah, I know.
good percentage of them being returning customers, but not all these customers are legit. Somewhere in North Carolina, an Amazon investigator orders an iPad. He gives Rek a signal and tells him he's ready to start the refund process. Rek tells him,
"Relax, we'll be there in 48 hours.
He waits, patiently, on and on, until all of a sudden, a notification. The refund has been processed, but where's the package? He checks the UPS tracking page, which says that the package is being returned to sender, but this scan is false, and the package arrives at his house shortly after. This was all the investigator was looking for. He uses the tracking information to track down the specific Amazon branch behind this, and the employee in question.
The specific Amazon branch? I've never heard an Amazon branch. So I guess there's like local to their distribution center type stuff?
April 12th, 54 days later.
A few of Rek's Amazon insiders are caught and fired. His customers all get rebilled. He tells them to report their cards as stolen to avoid having to pay, and for the most part, it works. The business keeps moving, Rek hires new insiders, but he knows now that law enforcement is right on his tail. Over the next couple of months, he opens up new refund stores, starts a new mentorship program, and keeps the business running as usual. But it's now December, and all around the world, different individuals involved with Rek are all being served indictments. They'd finally caught up with him. 20 arrests were made, 7 of them being Amazon insiders, and the other 13 being insiders from other companies, big buyers from Rek, or other people working under him. Most of the individuals...
Wait, sorry. My brain, I gotta slow this down. So he's doing it with other companies too.
He tells them to report their cards as stolen to avoid having to pay, and for the most part, it works. The business keeps moving.
Doesn't it feel like
Rek
slow-mo
hires
when
new
you slow it
insiders,
down?
but he knows now that law enforcement is right on his tail. Over the next couple of months, he opens up new refund stores, starts a new mentorship program, and keeps the business...
What is this? Mentorship. Knowledge shared by Rek himself, who's been involved in refunding for more than 7 years. What will I get after purchasing a mentorship? This is like mentored to be a scammer. Lifetime access to a private group where I will share all the information. You will be able to discuss other members. Access to my stores, including private ones, when I am refunding myself. Since I am a worldwide refunder, the stores are also worldwide. Access to my contacts with best prices that have been accumulated over many years. Tips such as how to remain anonymous, how to stay safe, how to refund store multiple times. Answers to your questions. Since I run large refund service and face many situations daily, I will share my experience with you in real time. Rek, will I get shitty ebook with outdated methods that don't work? No, I don't do ebooks or other bullshit. Refundable stores, methods change very quickly, so the only way to stay up to date is constant communication. So you got to pay $2,500 to get lifetime access to this. Okay. All right.
running as usual. But it's now December, and all around the world, different individuals involved with REC are all being served indictments. They'd finally caught up with him. 20 arrests were made. 7 of them being Amazon insiders.
That's what I missed. 20 arrests, 7 of them were Amazon insiders.
And the other 13 being insiders from other companies, big buyers from REC or other people working under him. Most of the individuals being charged are from the States, but there's 3 Hollanders, 1 Lithuanian, 4 Brits, and a Greek in there as well. REC wasn't served shit because his identity is still unknown. As soon as all this happened, REC realizes the age of his empire is over, and he needs
Age of Empires mentioned. Age of Empires mentioned.
to disappear. He posts
Final message.
before logging off forever. Mamba out.
That's it. He's still out there. Ooh, what a movie ending. What a movie ending. What a freaking movie ending. That's cool. Well, that's kind of nuts. All right, that was a short one. I wanted to watch another one from this guy. Wait. Actually, let's switch up really quick. Do you guys watch this guy? Louis Rossmann? Let's watch this one really quick. Anthropic deserves mass chargebacks for predatory billing services. I wanted to watch this really quick. I like this guy.
How's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to today's episode of How You're Getting Fucked. I'm your host, Louis Rossmann. One of the things I want to go over today is a strategy for anybody who has been screwed with.
Yeah, Jay, that's what my question is. Like, how do you, like, if that guy was taking 30% of that much movement, how did he turn it into cash somewhere, you know?
By this particular move by Anthropic. Anthropic makes Claude AI that a lot of people use because they have a really nice harness for Claude code. It just, for a lot of people, the reason they enjoy it is it just works. I've noticed that Gemini has the most information on certain things, particularly when it comes to how Google search engine optimization, rankings, and algorithms work. But when it comes to actually having an agentic workflow that just produces something that works, Claude code is surprisingly good. And I think that they are realizing this, and that they're realizing that they have a certain market advantage there. And as people were flocking to Claude code, they started doing this shit that I just find to be kind of sloppy and underhanded. So in order to explain this, I want to try and make an analogy to something that more of you will understand if you don't use AI regularly. Let's say that your internet service provider charges you $100 a month.
You guys know what the story of the Clippy is behind him, right? This is the guy that's behind, if you see a bunch of Clippy profile pictures, this is the guy that started that movement. That's a whole nother story. He was like, why should we all change our profile pictures to Clippy? It's like his whole thing. If you see Clippy profile pictures, it's this guy.
And you get 100 gigabytes a month of data, but after you go over 100 gigabytes a month, they start charging you $10 a gigabyte. Now, let's say that you have used 70 gigabytes of your 100 gigabyte quota for the month, but once you start using BitTorrent, they start billing you $10 a gigabyte, even though you've only used up 70 gigabytes of your 100 gigabyte quota.
Oh, I know what this is. Did you guys see this? That Anthropic is like, if you are using like OpenClaw or Hermes, if they can tell that you're using Hermes on top of Claude code, they like burn through your usage so much faster. You're not legitimately burning through your usage. They just see the Hermes.md file and they're like, oh, you're out of stuff.
And let's say they don't even fucking tell you that that's why they're doing it. It's only happening when you use BitTorrent because they associate BitTorrent with piracy. And let's say you're not even pirating something. Let's say you're using BitTorrent to download a Linux ISO, but you're still getting billed $10 a gigabyte, even though you've only used up 70 gigabytes of your 100 gigabyte quota. This is something that Claude Code has been doing if you have certain types of files in your directory, and they're just telling you, yeah, it may have been an error, we don't care. So there are people that like Claude, but they also like using their Claude account with other frameworks where it just may work better for their particular use case than Claude's own harness. Some people may want to use it with OpenClaw and other things. And if people who do that tend to have certain files in their directory. So in this case, this gentleman is talking about how if he has a file called hermes.md in the directory, instead of being part of his plan, it'll start going to what's called extra usage. Now, if
you saw Hermes, right? Like Hermes is basically OpenClaw version 2. It's like a completely different project, but it's basically the same thing.
you have a Claude Max plan. You pay $200 a month and you're supposed to get a fuck ton of usage. But once you run out of usage for a particular time period, the way it works is it'll stop working, but you have the option to use something called extra usage. And when you start using extra usage, you get billed an additional rate, but you're able to continue your project without being interrupted. And what he noticed is that if he had hermes.md as a file in the directory written with capital HERMES and then .md for Markdown as an extension, that even if he still had usage left in his account, even if he was only 70 or 80% the way there, it would start billing him for extra usage even though the usage was already there. Now, I may consent to having extra usage in my account. It'll ask you if you want to consent, but that's also under the understanding that you're not going to start billing me at this penalty rate unless I used up all my usage. And he noticed in this case, the only time this was happening is if I had this written in there. And that's only going to be written in there.
They tested it, even like Hermes lowercase.md didn't happen. Like they tested it. They were like Hermes uppercase MD. All of a sudden it switched over to extra usage and I was getting billed more.
Usually if, again, but this is slippery, but they're assuming that the people that have this there are people that are using Claude outside of their harness, and the people that are using it outside of their harness, they really want to push to API billing. API billing is where instead of paying $200 a month as a flat rate to get this amount of usage, you're paying every single time you make a query based on how many tokens you're using. And TLDR, that's way more expensive. The reason that I have a problem with this is if they said upfront, by the way, just so you know, because we see this file in your directory, we are going to start billing you at the higher rate immediately rather than actually allowing you to use the usage that you have for $200 a month. That would be one thing. But they just silently took his money, and the response that Claude gave was disgusting. They said the following: I sincerely apologize for the disruption you experienced with the billing routing issue. We take service reliability very seriously. However, I need to let you know that we are unable to issue compensation for degraded service or technical errors that result in incorrect billing routing. That last sentence over there. I need to let you know that we're unable to compensate you for technical errors that resulted in you being billed improperly. That's fraud, in my opinion. And the way that I would respond to this, and the way that I would suggest that all of you do, instead of simply filing a technical query or a technical support ticket with Anthropic, file a chargeback and then do the ticket. And I'm trying to come at this from the business owner perspective is what would get me most likely to change the way my behavior is, and that's a chargeback. There's a few reasons for it. So when there's a chargeback, I have to respond to it with my argument. Regardless of what the end user license agreement says, the person that's dealing with a chargeback is usually an underpaid customer support employee. And that person, it may surprise a lot of you, but the person that's doing that is usually the underdog themselves in their personal life. The person that deals with chargebacks at Visa and MasterCard and Discover and Amex is not somebody that makes $250,000 a year. They are not the Epstein class. They are not somebody who is looking to punch down on the little guy. Very often it's the exact opposite. In my experience, they very often, even as a small business, even when I have all my information correct and I can very clearly show this customer is just trying to milk us, they will find in favor of the customer. Sometimes that may be because they just fundamentally don't understand the industry. At other times, it's just because, like if I'm getting paid fucking $7 an hour, like I give a shit to defend the $1 trillion company. So here's what I'm suggesting to all of you. Instead of simply filing a ticket with Anthropic, the best way to teach them a lesson is to file a chargeback prior to filing that ticket with Anthropic for a few reasons. Number one, it creates friction. Instead of just sending this canned response, they don't have to log into their billing system and log in there and have somebody manually create an argument, manually respond to your complaints. If they do a canned response over and over again, the person on the other end is going to start to notice a pattern here and go, yeah, you know what, fuck that, no. And more importantly, if a company gets enough complaints, a lot of the times the merchant services provider will be open to just dropping them. And this comes up as part of the automated way that many of these companies do business, where if they see that there is a certain rate of credit card transactions to chargebacks, they just say this is not worth the money for us because it actually costs them money in order to process all of these chargebacks. And businesses will respond to this by doing whatever they need to do to not get that chargeback. I don't think enough people understand this. And I know that there is a lot of friction in the chargeback process itself. For instance, if you're unfortunate enough to use Chase Bank, when you click report a problem, sometimes it works and sometimes it'll tell you must call this number. And when you call this number, you are routed to somebody who is reading off of a script and life is miserable. I know it sucks. You may have a good credit card provider, you may have a horrible one, you may not know how to do a chargeback. Just trust me on this. If enough of you stick together, band together, and file a chargeback on Anthropic, they will be forced to stop doing this, and they will learn a lesson from it, I guarantee you. You can't do this. You can't admit in writing that your billing system failed and charged people more money. And here's the thing I've noticed about these bugs. Every time one of these bugs like this comes out, it tends to be in the direction of you paying more money if they suspect that you're using something outside of their ecosystem. If you want people to use API billing, just make it not work. Like, just say this tool doesn't work. Just return an empty query. Just return what happens when you hit a limit. This is sneaky shit. Where you're trying to say, oh, you have this file there. That file there, well, maybe it makes me think you're using something you're not supposed to use, so I'm just going, no, fuck that. That in my opinion, that is bitch shit. And the way you respond to bitch shit is by filing chargebacks.
All right, got it. We get the point, right? I mean, I like his stance here. All right. I wanted to do another ironic one. Which one I kept getting pushed one. I kept getting put. Oh, this one. Social engineering a scammer. I kept getting pushed this one, and I wanted to watch it. It's a little longer. Let's make sure we're on higher speed.
Hey, this is Marcus Lockwood contacting you from the Coinbase security team. Do I have the pleasure of speaking with John today?
This is called Coinbase calling. It's a scam method where someone will call you trying to access your Coinbase account through social engineering. They'll pretend to be customer support agents from Coinbase or Google. Then they'll try and pressure you into giving them access to your account by stealing your 2FA codes, recovery codes, and gaining remote access to your device. The first step is to build trust and establish authority. They'll tell you they're from the security team and that your account has been flagged for suspicious activity.
The reason we're contacting you today, sir, is because we received a request to change the password and email associated with your account. And we wanted to confirm whether this was you since the request came from a brand new IP address. Are you traveling or using a VPN tech?
Do I tell you, right? Priority number one, people calling your help desk impersonating to be employees. People calling your users impersonating to be their help desk. Like, what is your story around this? Because this is what everyone's doing.
Is your account?
The next step is to instill fear and panic by convincing you there's already an attacker inside your account. And as we speak, he's already trying to reset your login information. Luckily for you, this request was flagged by their state-of-the-art system, but now your account is frozen. It needs to be verified before you use it again. From here, the methods differ. Some guys will ask you to read out a code you just received via SMS. This is a legit code from Coinbase, but once you read it out loud, the scammer will use it to reset your account or log in. Others will ask you to email a code to a specific email associated with Coinbase. This email is used to confirm your identity if you lose access to your account, and as soon as it's sent, Coinbase will be prompted to give the hackers access to your account. But what's it actually like to be called by one of these guys?
Providing that email address as well as a common password. If you had an attempt to switch the number on the account, but since the location was unusual, we're going to place that on the automatic hold.
Well, thank you, David.
What we're going to go ahead and do today is we set you up with a temporary password for the next 48 hours. We'll specialists fully go over everything. And that's going to be sent to the number ending in 4155. Do you currently have access to that number?
I do.
Okay, perfect. So just let me know once you do receive that.
Okay. Oh, I got it.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. It's going to be active here for the next 1 to 2 minutes. What I'm going to go ahead and do as well is update the API key on the account just to ensure even more safety.
Good, thank you.
And while I do that, may I ask, how's your day today?
Very well, you?
Good. It's a nice day. All right, let me go ahead and process this here for you. So for 48 hours, you're going to go ahead and use the password that was sent.
So if you guys don't know like how these crews are managed, this is this person's job on this crew is to be like really good and nice and friendly and like sound legit on the phone.
And after the 40 hours are up, you'll also receive an email kind of going over the attempt as well as inform you that
I do the same thing, Jay. I call. I've gotten calls. Even if you look up the phone number that's calling you, it's not good enough. I've gotten legit calls from my legit bank phone number. But if you press them, oh yeah, why don't you give me some more information about me that you think you know, right? Or if you're like, hey, I'm going to hang up and call back, then you're good. Yeah, of course I'm AI.
that you are able to change your password.
If I was AI, don't you guys think I would pick a better looking freaking model?
That's right. And this is going to be sent over to junseth@gmail.com.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So if you could, go ahead and navigate over to your phone, and you should receive a notification for account security. Did you get that?
I did.
You did it?
I did.
Oh, you did it? Okay, perfect. Go ahead and tap on that, and it should say account recovery, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. You're going to want to do yes and 53. And just let me know once that's done.
Oh, I have one quick question, Caleb.
Yep. Oh, my name's Daniel.
Daniel, I'm sorry. What's your last name?
Fowler.
Daniel. Does your mother know that you scam people for a living?
I don't know.
Calling them, trying to change their passwords. You know, you don't work for Google. Google doesn't have my info.
If you'd like, I can go ahead and shoot you over an email kind of confirming.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Send me an email, Daniel, please.
Sure. It'll be directly from a Google domain as well. So
Oh, wow. You're going to spoof it, huh?
There's no way to spoof at google.com.
You can't spoof a header?
Due to Google owning it.
Daniel, you're an evil person.
Yep.
Your mom is disappointed.
Your mom is disappointed.
Well, I made
trying to-
100 grand yesterday.
You made
so-
100 grand, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
From old people or from whom?
No, he was like 40.
One guy who's 40. Are you a fag?
I'm not a fag.
No.
Actually, I just got my dick sucked before this call.
By a
and
guy?
Today I'm thinking I want to make around like 60K today.
Danny, where do you live? You live-
Okay. Why do we got to turn into Xbox Live 14-year-olds? And it's like 2008. And you're like, oh, you're gay. Like, he's a scammer. Like, we can talk shit enough about scamming old people.
You live in America?
Of course.
Yeah? Out in California?
Yep.
No,
You know
where in California? San Francisco?
Yep.
You just saying yes to shit?
What's up?
You just saying yes to shit?
No, I'm not actually. You're actually guessing.
How do I get this job? I want this job.
It's honestly not that bad. It's like social engineering, you know? You just kind of just call and, you know. So like, for example, like you have money in crypto, right?
I would never answer that.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I already know that you do.
Okay.
So that's the nice part about it. Like, kind of like, you know who has money in crypto, right? You ring them up, and once you hack their Gmail, you can literally just log into, because you think they're Google authenticators and stuff, you can log into Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, all exchanges, and just send it out. Fantastic.
Yeah, but did you hire yourself then, or are you working for like a company? Did you like apply for this?
No. Solo, obviously. There's no like company for hacking.
I mean, it's a crazy job, dude. You guys call me 400 times a day.
Yeah, I'll tell my friends to stop rerunning the same list. My bad. I'll like remove you from it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you do it?
Honestly, dude, I mean, like, who doesn't want to drive around McLarens and shit? Like I literally just got a McLaren. Like, it's like at a young, I'm not gonna say my exact age, but I'm young. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Are you really making $100,000 a day?
No, not 100,000 a day.
How much you actually make?
I made 10K yesterday. The day before that, I made 105, which was very nice. So, like, I'm consistently, I think, 10K a day. Like,
So you make 300,000 a month.
yeah, but not including, like, let's say I get a big hit. One day, obviously, that adds on. So, like, some days will be like 40, 50K.
But when you say make, you mean like you're taking that much out of someone's account and putting it into yours?
But it's all crypto, though.
Bitcoin, Ethereum, majority. What's
Depends on the type of, for example, we just did something the other day. It was like,
This is awesome. This is my favorite YouTube channel. This is awesome that we're hearing this like, guys, was my jaw open just now? That like, he's got this scammer on the phone. He like presses him. He starts trolling him like he's on Xbox Live. And the guy's just like bored and doesn't think anything. So he's just like talking to him. I mean, you know, a lot of this could be completely full of shit bananas, right? But like, this is awesome.
900K. I only got like 100K from it because so many of my friends had to help me.
900K?
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous how like people just give up their seed phrases and just like, I don't know, like how are you that into crypto, right? Know how like everything works. You obviously invest massive amounts of money into it and they still give up codes, seed phrases, all that. Like what?
How in the fuck?
And you'd be surprised, man. There's like infinite of these people, stupid people, like infinite.
Hey kid, you want to know where I got all this aura? Well, it's all thanks to the sponsor of today's video,
Sorry.
Aura. You ever just check your bank account and realize someone in a...
How do you... Okay, how do you cash out? Because that seems like the hardest part. Yeah.
No, it's not hard at all. Oh, you mean to like get actual money?
Yeah. How do you buy a McLaren with your crypto?
Well, first off, a lot of like people that I
This
know.
is my question. They asked my question. This is the part I don't get.
Like real life, they'll literally accept crypto for cars. So a lot of stuff I can simply just buy in crypto.
Sorry,
I
hold
also have a
on.
lot of-
Hold on. That's my question. I need to slow it down. Smooth brain time.
Okay. How do you cash out? Because that seems like the hardest part. Yeah.
No, it's not hard at all. Oh, you mean to like get into actual money?
Yeah. How do you buy a McLaren with your crypto?
Oh, well, first off, a lot of like people that I know in like real life, they'll literally accept crypto for cars. So a lot of the stuff I can simply just buy in crypto. I also have people that.
So part of the answer is just like move to Miami and someone will gladly take your whatever the hell it is.
I can like send them crypto and they'll just like give me cash or sell me or whatever.
Are you not mixing?
Am I not? What do you mean, like cleaning it?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I'm cleaning it. Swap over to XMR first, hold that XMR in a new wallet for like 2 days, like a fresh wallet on a different device. And
So you
then
get the inputs.
swap whatever coin after that.
So your outputs are different than your inputs.
Yeah, but I am curious because
Wait, that part's important.
swap it in a new wallet for like 2 days, like a fresh wallet on a different device. And
So
then
you get the inputs.
swap whatever coin after that.
So your outputs are different.
Swap it to what coin after that? What is this logo?
Days, like a fresh wallet on a different device. And
So you
then
get the inputs.
swap whatever coin after that.
So your outputs are different than your
Oh,
inputs.
Solana. Okay.
Yeah, but I am curious because this is like new data, so I'm kind of curious. I obviously can't do anything.
I know it's
now,
just one. I
because
know
this
it's
is
just
all-
one way, but he talked over him and I couldn't hear. So just go XMR is Monero, right? God, I'm such a noob on crypto stuff. I don't own any. Kind of proudly don't own any. But this is so fascinating to me.
Social engineering attacks, but like I'm curious.
Hot take. I think like the only reason crypto still exists is to fund scams and crime. I do not think that there is a legitimate use case for cryptocurrency. I think it is literally just to like skirt all of the regulation and everything on actual fiat currency.
How much do you have so I can tell my friend to see how good this data is?
I won't say.
No, like we can't hack you.
His data is you can't hack me because it's social engineering, but your friend's data is good.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful, dude. We got into a 1.2 mil Swan DC the other day. It's currently on a 3-day wait, so we're waiting for that to unlock, and then we'll get a nice little. Dude, my friend called up on some old guy in his CD. This was his first call of the day. He called up. The guy had 555K in his Coinbase, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said that he was gonna get him to vault Bitcoin to like place it in CD Vault, and he literally texted him the address and said, yeah, this is Coinbase Vault. And the guy sent over 555K by himself. Like, what? Why would you do that? That's
God, just evil, right? Like just scamming old people, man. That sucks.
ridiculous.
Holy shit.
My friend got paid 500K yesterday.
So if you get it, you get it. Like if you're the one that gets the withdrawal, you get it.
Well, no, like I'm doing my friend's data, so it's like 50-50. So whatever I'll give him 50%.
Oh, I get it. So your friend is giving you guys the list. He gives you the program. He does the calls. And then if you guys get it, he gets 50%. You get 50%.
Yeah. But it's kind of like annoying though, like sitting here and calling. But it's fun once you start getting like on a streak. Like for example, like yesterday I hit like 4 Gmails like in a row. You get like a little ego boost because you're just smacking them back to back to back.
How many calls a day?
That's a good question. I don't know. I like to start, like I wake up, I go drop off my girlfriend and stuff at home. And then I like to start and just pretty much call till like 7 or 8 p.m. and then I stop. Like 8 to 9 actually, EST, because that's kind of when a lot of people are off work around like 6, so it's nice around like that time.
Interesting.
But like, it's honestly like, I don't know, it's not that hard. It's like, we don't think of it like it's real life, you know, it's almost like a video game.
You know, bro, you know what though? You're, what are you, 23, 24?
No, I'm way younger.
Dude, this is going to land you in prison. So hard.
But that's the thing though, like, first of all, the punishment for this type of thing is the social engineering attack. The victim is willingly giving up everything. You know what I mean? He's the one giving you the codes. He's the one doing everything. The sentences are very relaxed for this type of stuff. It's going to be like 2 years or less.
But you're going to lose all the crypto. You're going to lose your car. You're going to lose your house. You can lose everything.
Of course, I have everything hidden. I have multiple treasures, multiple ledgers. I have ledgers buried with like a few 100K in them. No matter what, like with my friend, he went to jail for 3 years he did a SIM swap for like 1.4 mil. So he went to jail and they only confiscated 300K of it. So he still is a millionaire and he's out right now and he's a millionaire. He did this a few years back.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have friends with like genuinely tens of
I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. This is fascinating. This is like tap on the glass. Fascinating, right?
$40 million.
So you guys don't care if you go to jail because you come out.
I don't care. It's that it doesn't happen. Like no one gets arrested.
But I mean, like, let's say you get arrested, you don't care because you come out a few years later, you have stuff hidden. That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, but to be honest, we do everything correctly to not get arrested. Like it's almost like there's no consequences.
It's nuts.
The money. It's gone, and then you don't like buy anything with it directly.
We bought a McLaren.
Cash out through any exchange, so it's like hard to like even like track us at all. Like on my phone wallet right now. Here, let me put it up. I have on my phone Exodus. I have 107K in Bitcoin, 1.7 coins.
Fuck.
So it's like it's fun.
And the McLaren dealer takes Bitcoin?
No, obviously it's from private sellers. Like I have like rich people that I know that I just give them money and they'll literally privately sell me the car.
It's crazy, man. So okay, well that makes sense. So you have other stuff on the side then that you must do. That's fucking crazy.
Run for everything. Yeah, I do like legal stuff as well. Like I have like small legal side hustles, like businesses and shit that I can like funnel through, you know, and like make everything just seem like I'm like, if you were to see me in real life, I look like a regular child, just a regular normal kid, like going to school. You know what I mean? Like with my backpack and shit. Like you would never expect that this.
Yeah, there's like got to be a level of whatever, but Portbuster, there's also like enough of these guys getting caught with this exact story that like I tend to believe a good chunk of this, right? Like there's a ton of these teenagers that get caught. No, they're not my sponsor. I'm just watching YouTube. How old do you have to be to register an LLC? That's a good question. Yeah. Could you get an LLC without like an adult? I don't know. I know a high school here that they're having the high schoolers start their own businesses. So there might be services for that.
Kid is stealing millions of dollars online.
Fucking live with your parents? You can't because you have a McLaren. No way.
Well, next year I'm thinking about getting a penthouse. So I'm excited for that. That's when school starts back up. Because now it's summer. So this summer my goal is 1 to 2 mil. That's my goal this summer.
How many of your friends do this?
We have our small group where I'm not personally a millionaire. I have like high 6 figures, but I have friends, yeah. Like most of my friends have like around like 10 or something, they're like all like millionaires. And we all just do fun shit. Like for example, 2 weeks ago, we went to a club in LA, dropped like 130K on bottles.
So like this is how they get caught, right? It's like you're 17, 18 years old, whatever, and you go to a club and drop $130,000. The LLC can't protect you. Yeah, no, it's all pass through. He's just saying that he could make it look like business income, right? If you own an LLC, you can like sign some contract for like services provided to some company somewhere and move the money through there, right, to him. And then he's like, look, business income. So that's what he's talking about.
just like stupid shit.
Wow.
And then got like signs and shit. It was fun.
My friend, this is interesting to me. I'm older. So your generation has a contingent of people that are literally, I imagine your friend is a programmer. Y'all are getting lists. I don't know where you get them, probably from the dark web. And you're making calls, running your own script, and social engineering to get people to give you their shit.
Yeah. I have like a developer. We just pay him, I think like $1,000, and he sets up the bot for us. And it just like auto calls for active because cold calling is so annoying. You have to sit there, no one picks up. It's like you sit there for hours, you're not getting any pickups. It's like insane. But with this active, it's so much better because when they press 1, you kind of know that they're a retard. So you just call them up and they fall for it.
Yeah, I will say this is the cleverest one I've ever received. These calls asking for me to tell you whether I'm hacked or not.
Dude, we are the best of the best. There's a lot of people that do what we do, but they don't do it to the extent that we do it.
Okay, so like, let's say you get 10 people to hit one. How many of them give you money?
Majority.
Fuck.
Because a lot of the times, right, well, let's say I hack a Gmail, sometimes they just don't have their Google Authenticator synced, so we can't log into any exchanges. So I'll go through their Google Photos, look for seeds. Like, for example, yesterday, I hacked a Gmail, and I went through his Google Photos, I found his ledger seed. I just simply sent out, it was like 30K in XRP, and then I split that with my friend.
How many of you screenshot your backup codes? Your 2FA backup codes, and you're like, save them, and you just go, chink, screenshot, and then Google Photos auto backs up your photo library with your screenshots. We've never done that, right?
But you got to hold that because that's hard. It's hard to get rid of XRP off exchange.
Yeah, I mean, it was taken directly out of his ledger, so.
So you just have a ledger there that you're using to load up if you find a seed phrase.
You don't even need a ledger to load up a seed phrase.
I suppose that's true. You're using Sparrow.
You know what Trust Wallet is?
Yeah.
You know what Trust Wallet is?
Oh yeah.
Trust Wallet, Exodus, all those things you can just recover a seed phrase with. So I'll just paste it in there, click recover, bam, all the crypto just pops up, just sends out.
Interesting. So when are...
It's really fun, honestly. It's like the best job. I agree though, it is fucked up. You're kind of like...
It's super fucked up, man.
Unsuspecting people into taking their money. But like, I don't know. Like if you can give up your seed phrase to someone over the phone like that, you don't deserve it. Like, come on, bro. Like, what?
You come from a rich family or a poor family?
Middle.
So like middle class kid.
Yeah, I grew up great. I didn't have a bad childhood. I loved my childhood. I always got shit.
And yet.
Like my first car was a Dodge Scatback that my parents bought for me.
My first car.
And then
was a Plymouth Horizon with no heat or no air conditioning.
Really?
Yeah.
And then like I just like ever since I was little, like I've always wanted like Ferraris and all that nice stuff, and now I can get it. You know what I mean? Now it's like I have fun. It's kind of like I have no stress at all. It's like ultimate freedom. Like if I go to the store, like we went to Rodeo Drive, me and a few friends. My friend bought a $40,000 Louis Vuitton jacket for no reason, just for fun. He doesn't even wear it. We dropped like $200K at Rodeo Drive.
And when is enough for you? When are you done?
That's okay. So I hit something very, very big a few months ago. I'm not gonna say the amount, but that was gonna be my out. I was gonna do that, and I was done. I was gonna live my life. I was just gonna invest. I was gonna do stocks as well as trade, because I know how to day trade and I enjoy it. It's really fun, and I'm a very
I know how to day trade.
I really enjoy finance, so that was kind of my goal: just live off that money and turn into more money. But unfortunately, my cut was snaked by my partner. He stole my cut and deleted his account and disappeared forever. But I would say my out is $4 million. I would say that's a valid amount.
So you have a partner in this, or you did? So you get $4 million. So let's say you get $2 million this summer. What next? $2 million next summer, and then you're done.
Yeah. Well, honestly, if I make $2 million this summer, then like I would hope by the end of the year that I have like $5 million, because I'm still gonna work during school time. I'll just do it when I get back from school.
No college?
In the future, I am gonna go.
So interesting, man.
I'm not a dumb kid. Like I've always had all A's my whole life. Like I'm in all honors classes. I'm in all advanced placement classes. You know what I mean? So like either way, I think even like with or without this shit, I think that I will succeed in life no matter what. This is just kind of giving me a head start. Like I just have automatic ton of money to start off with, and then boom, I can create my own business. I can funnel it into trading and so on, and just growing from there.
Yeah, maybe.
So why do you guys pick names? Like you're the first one to call me who doesn't have 2 Bible names.
Well, people pick their own names. When I call Coinbases, I'm Eddie from Coinbase Consumer Asset Protection Line.
Okay.
But when I do Google's, I'm Daniel's Customer Care Line. Just because when we send out emails, because I can like directly send emails from Google with like case IDs and everything.
Yeah, you're using Java. You're spoofing headers.
It's not even spoofing. It's using Google Form. It's actually like really simple, but a lot of people just don't know how to do it. But yeah, in that email, like I have a pre-custom template and it says Daniel on it, so I just use that name.
Interesting. Do you have to buy the program from your friend?
Which one?
Yeah, the one that gives you the lists.
Oh, the one that gives me the list? No, because we're just 50-50ing them. Just splitting 50-50. Like, we'll get a bunch of good data from, like, a lot of rich investors, and then just run the bot to get active, rank them up.
Where's this fucking source of, like, leads? That's crazy. Is he not buying from the dark web?
No. The dark web doesn't have anything. Honestly, you know, some actual, like, Chinese and Russian, like, hackers. Like, it's, like, genuine hackers. Because we're not actually, like, hackers. We just know it's social engineers. And, like, this stuff. Yeah, we actually have, like, hackers that we know that, like, purchase stuff. So, like, for example, for, like, a really, really good database, we'll pay, like, 100 to 200K for it. And then that'll give us, like, 800K plus. You know what I mean?
You'll pay Russians in crypto.
Yep, and they'll send us it.
Do they only accept Bitcoin?
They only accept crypto. It's not just Bitcoin, some whatever ETH.
So they'll take whatever you got.
Pretty much.
It's crazy.
Like, the majority of people that do what we do have around, like, 10 to 50.
So you catch that part? So they take 100, 200K crypto, they send it to malware teams, right? So like the cyber criminals that are running InfoStealer malware everywhere. So Luma Stealer or whatever. Ad playing. Ad playing. Hold on. Jesus. What'd you say? They're getting a list from Russian forums. Wait, why can't I? I don't know what I'm doing. Viewers. Why do Russians love to hack so much? Well, there's hackers everywhere. It's just where can you get away with it and stuff. Portbuster, say something again.
Okay, because they struggle getting good targets, getting good data. Because like getting good databases, like the one I'm calling you on now, that's very difficult. A lot of people have garbage data, like public data, like people because they don't have enough money to pay for the good data.
The good database is like 200K.
Yeah, so they just run like garbage databases and make like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. You know what I mean? Like small amounts here and there. But what we go after whales, like 500K plus. They're very doable. It's honestly not that difficult.
Of the people that hit one, is it mostly old people?
No.
Really?
Honestly, no. The guy was 30K seat yesterday. He was 30. He was like 35.
Oh, poor guy.
I know, but like, how are you like? I don't know. It feels like the way because we know how to speak to people. We know what like drives human psychology, greed and fear. You know what I mean? So either like convince the target if they're gonna get something good, or that something bad's gonna happen if they don't comply. You know what I mean?
Look, I've talked to 3 of you so far. You guys are phenomenally good. I can't even tell you. Like, I know what it is, so I just like to go as far as I can down the rabbit hole. But you guys are phenomenally good at that.
Yeah, like we do it like all day, every day. It's just like great. You just make a ton of money, and then we have fun at nighttime. We'll go out, we'll go do some fun shit, or drive around cool cars, like rent a massive mansion, Airbnb, and just have fun.
You hang out together, so you actually know each other in person now.
Oh yeah. We've all like been knowing each other since we were like literal children.
I just thought you meant online, but you guys actually do live near each other and stuff.
Well, yeah, we all moved to like LA area because we started making so much fucking money, and we want to have fun, you know. And LA is a nice. I wouldn't say it's a nice area, but if you live obviously in a penthouse above everyone else, it's fun. Like my friend was paying 20K a month for his penthouse. It was beautiful, so nice. It genuinely feels like you're playing a video game. It's like Grand Theft Auto 5, but you just have unlimited money.
Right, I get it. It's a ratio, right? Calls you get to amount of money you get.
Like if you decide to sit down and grind every day, all day, you'll make money. I guarantee if you're good at what you do.
I have a sick admiration for what you're doing, despite finding it disgusting.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Like recently, because I started this when I was younger. You know, like I had no morals to like guide me with this. You know what I mean? Like this was just like fun and easy. But like now, the more that I think about it, like last night I was thinking about watching a movie. Like.
And?
I thought I lost sound.
Did I lose you?
What ransomware is?
Yeah, I know what ransomware is.
Look, I have other friends that do ransomware, and that shit is very federal, though. Like, if you do ransomware, the majority of them go to prison, because that's, like, actually, like, extorting a company to give you money. Like, they will track you down and find you. But with this, it's all consumers. It's individual people. You're hacking individuals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, majority of the time, it goes unreported.
Even for big amounts?
For big amounts, they're reported, but what are they going to do? They're going to be like, okay, so what happened? Oh, I gave up my seed phrase to this guy who called me, and then they're just going to laugh in your face. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Wow.
So
So don't do crypto lockers.
what do you mean? What's a crypto locker?
The ransomware. Don't do ransomware unless you're Russian.
No.
And you're off U.S. soil. But do social engineering if you're on U.S. soil.
100% social engineering rate. Also, I would say don't keep money in any exchanges. Keep your money in your Trezor or Ledger, and don't give that shit out to anyone.
And hide seed phrases in the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hide your seed phrases, but I wouldn't keep money in Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, anything. That's like you can easily hack that shit.
That's crazy. Well, Daniel, fake name. You know my real name. Been a weird pleasure.
Yeah, it was a fun talk.
Then I'll tell you, you should stop doing this. Gonna get you caught.
I agree. I'm gonna hit my goal, and then I'm just gonna chill and build a business. I'm gonna probably do like financial consulting or something after this.
You'll be very good at getting clients.
Yeah, 'cause I know how to speak to people. That's all I do all day, every day.
It's a lot
Speaking
of-
to people on the phone.
You're driven.
Yeah. It takes a lot, especially when you have days, because there's days where there's like droughts where like I call for 7 hours a day for like 3 days straight and make $0 because everyone's telling me to fuck off when I get on the phone. But I know. I always know when there's a storm, there's always a rainbow at the end. So I just keep it pushing. I remember I was telling my girlfriend that the other day because I went like 3 days without making any money. Or I made like 3K, but that's like nothing to us. You know what I mean?
Does she know what you do?
Yeah, which is a very big liability.
Oh, that's a liability.
But I told her when I was younger.
Oh, so you've been dating her a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like right after that, we hit the whatever. It was 13 Bitcoin, the Trezor seed. I wish I got paid more though. Unfortunately, I had to give my friend a larger cut because my friend wasn't home, so I had someone else call him because I already hacked his Gmail. So, like literally 5 different people, we all set it up. So I called him for the Gmail, then my friend called him for the Kraken, hacked his Kraken, took like 2K from his Kraken, and told him that it's just placed on a 48 hours block, blah blah. He's gonna receive the money in 48 hours. Then my other friend called him from Swan BTC. He had $0 in his Swan, but then we tried getting his ledger or his Trezor seed, and he was like, I'm never never giving that up, blah, blah. And we just kept pressing him to figure out how much he has in there and told him it was related to tax information. That's why he had to tell us, because he needed to send in his public key so we could do it for taxes instead of Kraken. And he sent his public key for Bitcoin to see all his transactions, how much he has. And we're like, oh shit, he's loaded. The next day, got my other friend a call from Treasure and we cashed out.
You called him as if you were from Treasure?
Yeah, literally called him as Treasure support. And we had like a fake website that obviously was like identical to Treasure. And he went on there and he put his seat on there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, shit's ridiculous.
Sounds easy, man. That sounds very, very easy.
It's once you know everything you're doing, it is very easy. Once you like understand everything.
Fucking, how old are you? 16?
I can't say that, but I am a minor.
Well, okay, when did you start doing this?
Like 13. So for a while, and most of these kids that do what I do all come from Minecraft. I swear to God, there's so much Minecraft kids that like just do this shit. I don't know why. Like my friend, I have a friend who's 13 years old. I'm not really friends with him, he's a business partner, but he's 13 and he has
not really friends with him, business partner with a 13-year-old from Minecraft.
Around 8 mil right now. His parents don't know. He has $8 million and he spent around $400,000 on rare Minecraft names. So he has like Coinbase, the name Coinbase on Minecraft. He has like every single rare name. He spent 400 grand on that shit.
And he did this?
What?
He did this?
Yeah, literally. Like he was like smacking like 1 mil, 2 mil, 3 mil, and he's just stacking it up. And it's like it's almost like it's not real money. You know, he got it so easily. It's like it's not even real. He just spends it and then gets more. That's
Jesus.
Another $300.
Jesus. All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna get back to calling.
Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, man, complicated feelings, right? That's nuts. Oh my gosh. So like you can follow a lot of the advice of securing your accounts, and they have a play for it in their playbook. Like they have a play in their playbook for this stuff. You know, like you have MFA. Okay, cool. When you set up your MFA, it gives you a bunch of backup codes. Guess what? A lot of people take screenshots of those backup codes and store them insecurely. You do XYZ thing. It doesn't matter. You get called and get, you know, if they catch you on the phone at the right time with the right script, you're gonna do it. You're going to fall for it. There you go. Can't be having you watch ads. The Tommy G crypto scammer. You told me about this already. You told me about this. Oh, I've seen this guy. Who did I see this guy interview? We watched this. The teen stole 230 mil or whatever. That video? We watched this on stream last week. Yeah. He interviewed O'Day. That's not the crypto scammer one? Inside the teenage crime empire? This one. That's not it. If that's it, yeah, we watched it. Yeah, this was pretty wild. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. I think that's it for the day. I got a call in like 20 minutes. Might try to, stand up today. I've got a few calls this afternoon, then I got to get home. I will be live tomorrow morning. Yeah. I'll be live tomorrow morning, no problem. Tomorrow and Thursday. So you guys have fun. I will see you tomorrow. I thought you were going to sign off a while ago. No, I didn't say that. I didn't fake it out this time. I do that a lot. I'm always like, I'm going to go. And then I hang on for another hour. I didn't do that today. I didn't do that. I knew we were going to hang out today. But yeah, I'll be live tomorrow for sure. Yeah, looking at my calendar, I'm good the next 2 days. I've got some travel coming up next month that I got to figure out if I'm going to try to stream remote or not. But all right, everybody, stay safe. See ya. Yeah, I'll go live Wednesday.